All right, aloha and welcome back, multidimensional friends, shifters, light guardians from all across this beautiful holographic matrix. We are live once again for another exciting inspirational team party slash inspirational team tarot extravaganza. Woo! Go team! Yes! Exciting! Woo! Woo! Sweet. No, seriously, straight up though, when we have these broadcasts, it is just a really cool time where I know for some of you, this might just be on in the background. You're just kind of like chilling out. You might be like multitasking and like working on art or just cleaning things or doing anything. So for those of you who are tuned in on Facebook, do me a favor and drop some 1111s in the chat to confirm that you can hear me okay. And we're going to take an extra couple moments here to be able to give people a chance to jump over from either Instagram or Facebook over to YouTube. So once we have 10 people in the chat on YouTube, then we will get into our first reading. So we currently got about like 5 people on the YouTube chat. So we'll do what we can to be able to help give people a little bit more of a heads up to be able to make the jump over. So if you're tuned in on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment down below and we will get rolling with our first reading as soon as we are ready. So awesome. All right, okay, perfect. So again, to those of you who are tuned in on Facebook, we're going to get into our first reading momentarily once we have 10 people on the YouTube chat. So if you're watching this on Facebook and you want to be able to like interact with it more, go ahead and make that jump over to YouTube. You can find the link in the info for this video and you can find it in the pinned comments, and you can also like click on my profile and then click the link within like my timeline as well. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just literally post it to the top of my timeline. That way so it's like even above everything else anyways. So, but again, keeping an eye on the amount of people tuned in on YouTube. So if you guys are tuned in on YouTube right now, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. You can always like take a picture with your phone and repost it to an Instagram story, and then please feel free to tag me down below. And so we almost got 10 people. So again, like I said, we're just taking an extra few moments here, give people a chance to be able to join in, and we'll get right into that first reading as soon as possible. And we got about like 6 people tuned in on Facebook. So if the Facebook party wants to join the YouTube party, please, by all means, that would actually be more ideal. And then that way we can just keep everyone hanging out in one chat. And if you've never done these before, if this is your first time here, drop a 333 in the chat, let us know. And again, these are really fun. Like, we've been doing these for quite some time. Tonight's actually like a little bit extra special because tonight is the end of the month, meaning when we do these broadcasts, we're doing tarot, but we're also inviting people to support on Patreon. That's why we refer to it as an inspirational team tarot and a Patreon goal quest live broadcast. So our goal is to be able to invite people to sign up onto the Patreon. And again, when they sign up onto the Patreon, they're also getting the opportunity to join into the private aspect of our community. So one second here, inspirational team tarot live now. All right, so again, I'm just literally just posting it on my profile. So for those of you on Facebook, I've made it even easier for you, where literally you can just click on my profile and then it's like the top post on my timeline, if that makes it easier for you. And then go ahead and jump over to YouTube. And again, for those of you tuned in on Instagram, you guys can click the link in my profile to be able to join in on YouTube. And we're pretty much there. Okay, so we've got 8 people, so I'll start explaining. Again, for those of you who are new, go ahead and drop a 333 in the chat. Let us know. And as we get through this, what we are going to do is our first reading will be for someone within the chat. And the way how we facilitate this is basically I choose a number within a bracket, and then you guys use your psychic powers. That's essentially what's happening. This is like psychic training as well. You use your psychic powers to try and guess the specific number that I'm thinking of, and you'll get 3 guesses, and then the first one to get the number right wins. Only do 1 guess at a time and 3 guesses each until I tell you that you have more guesses. So cool. Okay, so again, for those of you on Instagram, click the link in my profile to join in on YouTube. We're gonna get right into our first reading momentarily. I'm just pulling up. Just let me know again if it's coming through properly on YouTube. I just want to double make sure it's not like it's laggy or anything like that. If the frame rate's good. Yeah, it looks like it's okay. Huzzah! So anyways, tonight is a special night because tonight is our last night to be able to get new Patreon signups before the regular contributions go through, which go through on the 1st of each month. So after tonight, any new sign up their contribution on Patreon will contribute first time on August 1st, so next first month. So for anybody to be able to get in on today, again, it just kind of like works. It's our quest towards our milestone. So you can see our next objective. You can see on screen down below. We're currently working towards our next milestone is 196. My overall goal was to be able to get 200 by the end of the month. We're aiming for 196 right now. Like if we can hit 196 tonight, like yo, like I would I was gonna say, I'll tell you what I was gonna say anyways. I said I would shift my pants. That's what I was gonna say. Be like, I'd be so excited. I would shift my pants, but I'm not actually gonna say that. That's just a little bit. I don't want to make any shifty poop jokes. So, anyways, team, we will get right into our first reading. We got about 10 people tuned in. So if you guys are ready to get into our first reading, drop that 1111 in the chat. Let me know. And again, as we go through this, we'll be inviting people to join on Patreon. And why would you want to join on Patreon? If you're familiar with my work, it is an awesome way to be able to help support. But more so than that, when you join on our Patreon at the $11 level or higher, you can join what is referred to our leading members community. And within our leading members, as leading members within our community, you have access to our private team chat. You have access to be able to take part in our collaborative conscious media creator work periods, our leading member conscious work periods for conscious media creators. The core of the team is about conscious media creation. So if that's something you're interested in checking out, I'll explain it better next time, but we'll get into this first reading and we'll keep an eye open for that the first Patreon sign up. Let's set our first Patreon sign up by 10 p.m. So again, we literally have until midnight to get as many signups as you can. So go get your cat's credit card and sign your cat up for the Patreon if you can. All right, so again, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's get into our first number guessing thing. Again, for those of you tuned on Facebook, this is where you want to make the jump. If you're interacting on Facebook, we're going to do this number guessing thing, but the guesses only count if you're on YouTube. So I'll give you like another 30 seconds to make the jump from Facebook to YouTube. How we're going to do it, I'm going to pick a number. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, there it is. Got it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to tell you the bracket for the number. You are going to take 3 guesses as to what number I am psychically trying to send you. And the first one who gets it will help facilitate our first reading. Every reading that we do is like a team reading as well. So I'm going to give you the bracket. Once I give you the bracket, you can take your guesses. Again, guesses only count if they're in the YouTube chat. So if you're not in the YouTube chat, make the jump now. The bracket is, once I say this, you can leave your guesses, only 1 entry at a time, and I'll do some like commentary as it goes. The number is between 230 and 260. So the number is between 230 and 260. Go ahead and make your guesses now. And the first one to get it will help facilitate the first reading. But again, all the readings we do are also team readings as well. So that's kind of the really cool part. And there's a bit of a delay in the chat. So as I'm explaining this now, you guys are finally hearing the message within my timeline, and your guesses will start appearing in the chat any moment now. Here they come. Here comes the future. It's approaching any moment now. Time is a funny thing, especially when you're broadcasting with a delay. And here come the first guesses. Pharaoh Kitty with a 242. Rasta with a 256. We've got Felicia with a 233. Michael dropping in a 238. Z dropping in a 245, 246, 258, 255. They are fast out of the gates on this one. Oh, but Javier lands it on the second lap with a 234. Wah, 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 wah. Javier got it with 234. The number was 234. So congratulations, Javier. Go ahead. You guys can leave your comments down in the chat, and Javier, you can let us know when you're ready to do the first reading, and we will get into that. And congratulations. Thank you to Javier and to everybody else. Solid guesses. So beautiful. Okay, so again, the first reading we'll do it with the tarot, the Ananda tarot deck. And again, for those of you who are new, when we do these readings, they're not like psychic readings. It's not fortune telling. It's a chance for us to use the cards as symbols, as mirrors, for us to be able to see more of ourselves. And so in the process of doing this, the intention is to be able to help provide additional like perspectives, clarity, insight, inspiration, and this is the extra cool thing. You get to hang out with other super awesome people while hanging out here together. So that's honestly like half the excitement, is you guys just getting to hang out in the live chat. So all right, so again, we're gonna get right into this reading. Let's work on getting that first Patreon sign up momentarily, as in by 10 p.m. So it's 9:32 right now. Let's work on getting the first Patreon sign up by 10 p.m. And again, for the Patreon, real quick explanation: signing up on the Patreon is a monthly micro contribution. We're working towards our target goal of 196 Patreon supporters. We're currently at 187, and when you join at the $11 a month contribution or higher, you can join as what we refer to as a leading member, and you can get access to our private community team chat. And that is, again, a space to be able to help support conscious creators and leaders. We have regular collaborative work periods, our weekly team podcast, access to me as a conscious media creation coach. It's worth way more than $11, and it's a super cool way to be able to connect with a amazing team of people who are actively helping shift consciousness. So if you're looking for a community and you're looking for a team, please feel free to connect with us and like what we've been doing. And I've been like facilitating community and creating conscious media for almost 11 years now, so over 10 years that we've been doing this. So we've got some pretty awesome roots here. Aloha again to everybody here. I just want to give some quick shout outs to Solomon, Julia, Javier, Felicia, Rasta, to Z, to Michael, to Farrell, and to Dandelion, and to, I think that's everyone. That's everyone. I feel like when I do that, I feel like I'm doing the like, I'm my brain can't 100% remember, but was it Sheriff Lois and Bram, or was that the name of the show with the elephant? They had like a mirror, and they were like, who do I see today? Like, oh, I see Javier, I see Felicia. Like they looked into the TV. It was a show. You guys kind of know what I'm talking about, right? Drop a 777 if you know what I'm talking about, and somebody figure out what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure it was like Sheriff Lois and Bram. It's like a Canadian show, so it's so obscure. Anyways, we'll get into the first reading, and let's keep an eye on that first Patreon sign up. So for anybody here, if you're thinking about signing up to the Patreon today, drop a 555 in the chat. And again, reminder for Patreon supporters, if you guys want to increase your pledge, obviously that puts you in line to do the next reading and is also greatly appreciated. And today's the last day for like adjustments to pledges and new Patreon signups. So go tell your friends that we're broadcasting now and get them to sign up for the Patreon. If you do, I'll give you bonus points. I can't do this without the team, and you guys are the team. So let's get into this first reading. Javier, I know you are ready, and for everybody here, if you're new, drop a 333 in the chat, and we're gonna walk you through this. So here we go. Inviting everybody here to just follow my lead as collectively we just take a moment here to meditate. This is like part of what we do here. So it's a collective intention setting and collective reading. It's really cool. So for everybody here, just go ahead, close your eyes. And so just take a moment here to connect with your breath. Deep, gentle inhales and soft, gentle exhales. Maybe this is like the first mindful breath of the day. Just take your time with it if you wish. A little bit of a sigh. Just allowing yourself to be relaxed, giving your nervous system permission to be relaxed right now. And as you're in this space, just bringing your attention to gratitude. Gratitude for this team, for this broadcast, for the messages we are about to receive, for the sacred space. And as you're in this space of gratitude, Javier, and for everybody here, focus your attention on the intention of show us what we need to see. Us being individuals, us being the collective, us being the team. And so for everybody here, focus on that intention. Speak it within your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your words, speak it with your soul. Show us what we need to see. And as you focus in on this intention, Javier, you're going to take a few more breaths here on your own and listen to your intuition. And when you are ready, type now in the chat. For everybody else, you know what to do. Type in your magic wizard wooing noises in the chat. Sorry, I should do it properly. And so, my friends, here we are once again to be able to see what messages are along the path to allow us to continue to outlast. As we continue to rise within this game, we will transform and unlock new names for ourselves as we become sages and we continue to transform through the ages. And so as we send good vibes into this moment, we bring forth a message to help us own it. For as we continue to awaken into the guardians that we are, we shall continue to bring forth the magic of the stars. Here comes the now. I'm like reading your guys' comments. And so breathe into this gift, for now is the chance for us to be able to see what's at hand. Any second. There could be a delay. Hold it. Stay on target. Stay on target. Stay on target. Any second now, Javier, assuming Javier knows that he's doing it. Otherwise, I'll take a break and we'll go into it again. I'm not 100% sure if Javier is there, to be honest. He was there a moment ago, but otherwise, we'll just take a moment here to just be able to. I'll do the draw. I'll step in for Javier. That's okay. So there it is. Okay. I think he wrote go. I need him to write now, but go's good enough. So go equals now. Whoa, that one like popped. This is the one then. All right, cool. All right. The first card that we have pulled for today's Inspirational Team Tarot reading, thanks to Javier, is Flames number 2. So give me 2 seconds here. I'll show that to you real quick, and I'm going to open up the book. And again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read what's written in the book because that has a lot of valuable information. And then what I do is I channel additional information just for my own interpretations and from my heart. And then from there, again, you guys get to receive any sort of powerful reflection within this moment to be like, oh yeah, like, oh, okay, like I'm seeing more. My perception's expanding. My consciousness, it's awakening, etc., etc. So cool. So thank you again, everyone. Let's keep rolling through this. For those of you on Facebook, I invite you to join in the primary chat on YouTube. To do that easily, click my name, like my username, and then you'll find the link on YouTube at the top of my timeline. Hopefully that makes sense what I said, because that's like as easy as I can make it for you. And for those of you on TikTok, or sorry, damn it, no one's on TikTok. For those of you on Instagram, click the link in my profile to join in on YouTube as well. And let's get into this first reading. And again, we'll keep an eye open for the Patreon signups. So for anybody here, if you're interested, go ahead and check out the Patreon as we're doing these readings. And we'll aim for that first reading by the first Patreon sign up by 10 p.m. So if you're ready to sign up for the Patreon, help us reach that target goal of 196 and join as a leading member. So thank you again, everyone. And if you're brand new, other people here who are on the Patreon, drop an 1111 in the chat and hype up the Patreon for me. Like, just explain it to people. Be like, yeah, the Patreon's super dope. Like, tell them why they should join and invite them to do so. All right. Okay. So here we go. Flames number 2. This is, again, I'm just going to visually explain the image of it. Here that we have this beautiful pillar of light. Now, it's called Flames 2, but you can see it's clearly like one pillar, but then it's kind of like the two sides, or almost maybe like two pillars kind of merging to one. Maybe that's more kind of like the overlap type space. But again, very beautiful image of this beautiful pillar, this literal spire of light, which is the word, what the word Jedi means. I'll talk more about that later. Like, the word Jedi literally means pillar of light. And again, just shining over across this beautiful horizon. Is it coming up from the ground? Is it coming down from the sky? Who knows? But that's the basic image of what it is. And you got some stars in the sky and some beautiful, beautiful foliage on the ground and a little bit of a surface. And there's one little thing here. There's like a little staircase that's going underground there. So there's like something underneath there as well. So beautiful. All right, let's get right into this first reading. And thank you again, everyone, for joining in. We have 16 people on YouTube. If you're here for the first time, drop a 333 in the chat and welcome. We got a dope thing going. If you enjoy what we do here, you're welcome to join our team chat as well, and you can find the link down below. So, and don't forget to hit that like button, says Pistol Cat. No, that's true. Go ahead and do that too, because I think it helps the algorithm. All right, for everybody here, if you're here, this message is for you, and just allow my voice to almost be like the voice of the universe. So, watch, listen. This message is for you. 2 of flames, the image. 2 bundled rays of light come from the infinite universe and meet the limited surface of an unused area in the center of a landscape. So it is 2 rays. It's 2 rays coming together. Meaning, In the interplay of powers, the dynamic principle reveals itself through the energy of fire within the world of matter. If in the field of tension of polar opposites, man runs the danger of being exposed to the effects of outer influences, that he is challenged to adopt a clear position and collect his energies. As per usual, when I'm reading this, if anything I say resonates with you, drop an 1111. We're also going to be doing affirmations based on each card. So you're going to write an affirmation based on what the card means to you. If you're new, that's kind of like a regular thing we do. So, see, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool here. It's pretty chill. All right. Putting oneself in the way of the outer world means bringing the inner world to a standstill in order to build up the necessary attention that solid, goal-oriented action demands. In spite of all the turbulence, it is necessary to bring the situation in hand and consciously take control in order for the creative energies that lie dormant to be steered in the right direction. The recognition of available possibilities and their usefulness brings self-confidence and enables humans to shapeshift after their own ideas. Successful action calls for careful planning and healthy self-confidence. Contradictions that come from a lack of self-trust are to be overcome through determination. This means taking advantage of opportunities, handling responsibilities, and also taking on the challenge of life. Astrological significance: Mercury, Mars, opposition aspects. Key words: making decisions, determination, drive, collecting energy, self-confidence, potency, initiating process, new beginnings, dynamic, balance, taking advantage of opportunities. Traditional meaning: taking advantage of opportunities, action, vitality, prioritizing, strength, accepting challenges. Okay, all right. So again, now I'm just going to kind of like channel and riff and give some more informational downloads for you guys to just be able to nurture your hearts. You come to these broadcasts and I just like pour a bucket of love all over your heart. That's essentially what happens. And then your heart grows, and then it expands, and it grows into a beautiful magic heart tree or something. I don't know. Okay, let's read into this a little bit more. All right, you get to smile when you tune in. That's what you get. So this is a really important card that, again, is really about being able to like stand in our strength, but more so standing in our strength to also to be able to stand in our strength with the intention to be able to almost approach challenges in a whole new way. So this card, it really is in itself a little bit of a card, like a little bit of a paradigm shift, in the sense that whereas before there might have been a part of our past that really kind of like resisted challenges or really resisted new beginnings, this card is, again, this comes from a card that, okay, contradictions that come from lack of self-trust are to be overcome through determination. So again, with this card, recognition of available possibilities, usefulness brings self-confidence, enables human shape. One second, I just want to reread this part. I just want to make sure what I'm saying is on point. Putting oneself in the way of the outer world means bringing the inner world to a standstill in order to bring orientation. Spite the turbulence is necessary to bring the situation constantly creating energy, lie dormant in the right direction. Yeah, so again, so with this card, like a lot of this card is being able to like understand how the practices that you have within your lap are going to be incredibly useful for being able to approach the challenges that are on your path. So instead of just kind of like meeting these challenges head on, this card is basically encouraging us to be able to figure out a more like a better way of using your energy when approaching challenges. So that's kind of one of the things with this card, is that this is about prioritizing your strengths and prioritizing your focus. So whereas once before, if you had a problem at hand, maybe you would have like put 50% of your energy towards like avoiding it, and then another 30% towards like trying to find another way to change it or something like that. But instead, like, what would happen if you were to just kind of like directly almost like meet the challenge head on, with this new perspective that it in itself is literally there to be able to help you grow, yet knowing that in the decision-making process of being able to kind of like step into it, you're also being able to receive the gifts of the strength that you already have, but it has been laying kind of like dormant in a sense. So there's like certain kind of like dynamics to our personality and certain strengths that we have that literally lay dormant until the right challenges approach them. So the next time you see a challenge, you can almost see it as like, ooh, like, I wonder what strength of mine is hidden within that challenge. Like, what would I unlock by doing it? Like, imagine if you were living life and literally every challenge was like a quest in a video game, And it's like, if you complete this challenge of communicating clearly to your beloved one when there's a misunderstanding, then you will like unlock like additional, like empathy plus 12 or something like that, So like, if you understand that the challenges literally are there for you to be able to level up, it definitely changes the way you approach them. Instead of just being like, oh crap, like I don't want to deal with this and stuff like that, you can still feel that way. Like that's totally 100% valid to acknowledge however you feel. But then it's also being able to make another choice in terms of how you prioritize your focus on it. And at the same time, there are going to be certain challenges where it's like, you know what, this is a challenge, but my focus is feeling called elsewhere. So just because a challenge is there, it doesn't mean you have to kind of like dive into it, so to speak. But again, in the interplay of powers, the dynamic principle reveals itself through the energy of fire within the world of matter. In the field of tension of polar opposite, man's run the danger of being exposed to the effects of outer influences. Then he is challenged to adopt a clear position and collect his energy. So again, this card has a lot to do with kind of like collecting our focus, collecting our energy, however you want to put it, just being aware of times where we may be kind of like sending out our energy in unconscious patterns. It's like, oh, we're like investing like 30% of it into mindlessly browsing Instagram, and then we're like spending another time just kind of like distracting ourselves and stuff like that, and then we're spending another time like hanging out with people who don't really support us or something like that. Like, it's also just about being able to become aware of that, and ultimately be aware of kind of like where you move your attention from one thing to the next. You are literally bringing more life into that, what it is. That's what it is, what you want to create. So maybe that attention is something that you bring into yourself. Maybe it's something you bring into your projects. Maybe it's something you bring into, again, like your challenges. Because again, your challenges aren't even necessarily going to be like things you don't want to do, right? Like some of the greatest challenges are actually the things that are you're most excited about, like frick yeah, like I'm gonna start my own business. I'm gonna become like a conscious media creator. I'm gonna help people. I'm gonna share my art with the world. Like, that's a challenge, and you're damn right it's gonna level you up. Like, it wouldn't do anything less. So in this concept, it's really being able to like stand in the strength of our as our pillar of light, which again, I was mentioning the word Jedi, de-Jedi'd, it's like ancient, it's from like, this is one idea, which I'm like, okay, that's super fascinating, but it comes from like ancient Egypt, and it was like a secret kind of sect, and they were known as the de-Jedi, and they were basically like the wisdom holders of ancient Egypt, and the word de-Jedi literally means like pillar of light. And then here we have the modern day Jedi. So this is about like being the Jedi that you are, in your ability to kind of like carry a higher degree of consciousness that allows you to be able to approach any sort of turbulence with the intention of being able to bring it to harmony. Because that is essentially what the Jedi are all about, right? It's like where there is imbalance, they try to create balance. Where there is chaos, they try to create harmony. So how can you do that within your life? How can you be the Jedi of your own life, where you can start creating more harmony? And maybe that harmony is literally just like a little bit here, a little bit there, just a little bit each day, a little bit this and more, and then suddenly, what if it starts manifesting in like collectively throughout your life in a little bit more of a way, to as much as you can possibly control, right? There's obviously going to be certain things that are always going to be somewhat beyond your abilities, beyond your control, so to speak. So successful action calls for careful planning and healthy self-confidence. So this card is, again, being able to like, carry with us not only the ambition to approach challenges, but also the planning process of how to approach challenges, and being able to, again, just bring as much awareness as you can to your decision-making process by reminding you to kind of slow down in the first place, and connecting with that self-confidence that comes from your knowing that within this slowed down space, that is actually where you can tap into more of your higher wisdom and more of your like intuition to assist you in making these steps. When you get good at listening to your heart and listening to your intuition, it becomes less and less where you'll go through situations and you have to like suddenly like backstep sort of thing. This happens to all of us. We'll say something, we'll do something, and we'll be like, oh damn it, and now I have to like kind of like backstep. Those usually happen sometimes when we're kind of like, and this is relatively speaking, this is from my own experience, those usually happen sometimes when we kind of say things on impulse, or we do things on impulse. Before we kind of do anything, relatively speaking, if we take a moment to just kind of slow down and listen, then like a lot of the time, whatever choice we make will be one that will just be far less likely to feel like it will be one of those ones where it's like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. Oh crap, I have to backstep now. So your self-confidence comes in this ability of knowing that you have all the answers you need for your next step, and you can access those by slowing down and creating harmony within yourself in the midst of chaos, so to speak. So yeah, and then from there you can take advantage of opportunities because you'll have more clarity to see them. You can take action, move forward, take those steps. This card has a lot to do with vitality. So again, taking care of yourself on a physical level as well brings more of this energy into your ability to make decisions, prioritizing strength, and accepting challenges. So drop those 1111s in the chat. Let me know how that resonated with you. That was a pretty dope first card. So activating our inner Jedi to be able to help create harmony in the midst of challenges, etc. So again, thank you, Javier, for helping facilitate that reading. And again, that reading's for everyone. For those of you who might have been joining in partway through, that reading is for anybody tuned in right now. And go ahead and leave an affirmation in the chat, something that relates to this reading. When you leave the affirmation, that's basically telling your body that you heard what just was communicated. So it helps you embody it. If you literally create an affirmation, it helps you embody understanding the fact that you just learned something. So an affirmation could be like, I am calling in my ability to create harmony within myself to move forward with wise decision making and confidence. That's an affirmation related to this in itself. So I'll just kind of like say that. So I'm just like I think I should probably get a haircut soon. My hair is just like annoying me at this or I'll just wear a hat during the broadcast. So anyways, leave those affirmations in the chat. I'll read those in a second for those of you who are here. And yeah, thank you again, everyone. That was a great first reading. And yeah, I can see those 1111s coming in. So go ahead, leave the affirmation in the chat. And again, that was Flames number 2. Beautiful. For those of you tuned in on Facebook or Instagram, I don't think there's anybody on Facebook or Instagram right now. If anybody's on Facebook or Instagram, leave a comment and then I'll tell you to jump over to YouTube. But it looks like we got about 14 people on YouTube right now, which is great. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in. So we'll take a quick little intermission because I want to be able to see if anybody is ready to sign up for the Patreon, and then that next person will be the next person that will help facilitate our next reading. And either way, we will get into another reading very soon. And again, when you sign up onto the Patreon, you can choose from the tarot deck or the oracle deck. So again, the reading is like both for you but for the collective. So if you want, you can choose for the oracle. You can choose from the oracle deck, which is the Lightworker oracle deck, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty dope deck. We'll end up using it tonight either way. But yeah, thank you again, everyone, for joining in. I'll post that link for the Patreon in the chat. So again, if you're enjoying the show and perhaps you've been tuned into my work for a while, and you want to be able to join our private community of conscious media creators, conscious leaders, shifters, light guardians, then joining on the Patreon is an awesome way to do that by joining as a leading member. Plus, when you join on there, you get additional discounts for items from our item shop, including this little magic doohickey, which is called a Light Guardian Crystal, and we got a few different variations. And yeah, again, when you join on the Patreon, you get access to our private community team chat, access to me as a conscious media creation coach, access to join our on-air team podcast. This Thursday's podcast, live on air, is about the spiritual dynamics of conscious media creation. That's Thursday, 8 p.m. EST. So if you're not already yet, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube. And again, for anybody here who's already signed up for the Patreon, if you guys want to increase your pledge, please feel free to do that. And again, we set the goal for our first Patreon sign up by 10. It's 9:55 right now, so we're close to that. So if anybody is ready to sign up for the Patreon, drop a 555 in the chat and let us know. And again, I'm going to read a couple of the affirmations that came in. So affirmation from Javier says, affirmation, my hair is fine. My hair is there for a reason, and it looks amazing on me. That's a good affirmation. I like that. My hair is being hair. Mary, I know that I have all the answers within myself and can conquer anything by being gentle and activating my inner Jedi. Beautiful. Well said, Mary. Love that. Namaiho Range Kaio says, I allow my higher self to lead the way. Beautiful. Kaio, thank you so much for joining in and welcome, assuming this is perhaps your first time. And yeah, we'll get into the next reading momentarily, and let's just check in real quick to see if anybody is ready to sign up for the Patreon. And again, it only takes about 5 minutes to sign up for the Patreon. And when we do these broadcasts, we usually have like, yeah, we like just like having that goal during these broadcasts is pretty exciting. So this is us like putting in the work, inviting others, and building the team. And that's the thing, when you join on the Patreon, definitely I want you to be able to see it as like an investment for yourself. So if you're really looking to like connect with community, then definitely consider checking out the Patreon. And even if you sign up later, you can still be involved as a leading member. So, all right. Awesome. Sweet. Okay, thanks again everyone for tuning in. We got 13 people tuned in. We'll go into another reading, and as we're doing this, we'll keep an eye open for any new Patreon signups. Again, if you guys are already signed up for the Patreon, you want to increase your pledge, feel free to let me know. And yeah, we'll aim to get, like, if we reach 96 tonight, that'd be impressive, but even just to be able to get like a nice handful of new signups is perfect. Beautiful. Felicia, I will have grace with myself when I need rest, but will also continue to work on channeling productivity, channeling productively the anger and sadness I feel when it comes. Always working on that balance. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Felicia. CeeLo says, I accept harmony in all areas of my life. Awesome. CeeLo just released a new podcast, by the way. CeeLo, if you haven't yet, post that new podcast link in the Discord chat. You can post it under YouTube and post it in public chat. Like, you can post it twice. That way so it archives, and then that way so people can at least just see it more easily. So, all right, team, we got 14 people on YouTube. If you're already... Yeah, I think most of the people here are already signed up for the Patreon. So again, if you're new to my work, definitely check out the Patreon at some point. But if you've been following my work for a while and you're ready to support on Patreon, go ahead, let us know and drop a 555 in the chat, and we'll get into our next reading as well. So Javier, I welcome ultimate understanding, balance. Beautiful. Awesome. Well said, Javier. Okay. All right. Okay. Y'all ready for another tarot reading? And as we do this, we'll keep an eye on getting that first Patreon sign up. We'll aim for, we'll say like 10:15, but also even by 10:30 is totally fine for that first Patreon sign up. And again, for those of you who are tuned in, please feel free to like screenshot this and post it to your Instagram and post it to your Instagram story, and then tag me and tell people to tune in through my profile link if you want to do that. I know it's like an extra couple steps, but it works. It works. Okay, team. All right, drop an 1111 if you guys are ready to go into another reading, and we'll do the number bracket psychic training thing again. For those of you tuned in on Instagram, click the link in my profile to join in on YouTube. And thank you again, everyone, for hanging out. As I just like fly this light guardian crystal spaceship future crystal car. That's what it looks like. It's like I didn't have Hot Wheels. I just grew up playing with light guardian crystals. All right, team. We'll get into that next reading in a second. Just confirming you guys are ready. So go ahead and hype up that chat. Drop those 1111s. And I'll tell you the next number. Excuse me. There's like a strawberry seed in my throat. Okay, from my smoothie. All right, let me pick the number for you. Okay. All right, okay, I got the number. All right, I'm going to give you the number for everybody here. If you guess the number, you'll help facilitate the next reading. And you get 3 guesses, 1 guess at a time, and if no one gets it within 3 guesses, I'll tell you get more guesses. As soon as I say the bracket, then you can start leaving your guesses. Guesses only count if they're in the YouTube chat. It looks like everybody's on YouTube. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay, the number is between 100 and 130. The number is between 100 and 130. So... and once you guys are ready, go ahead and take those guesses, and I'll give some commentary as those are coming in. Let's see, is anybody gonna get it on the very first go? Sometimes that happens where literally the very first guess is just like right on. And again, I'm sending it with like my psychic signal. I'm sending it through time right now. You should be able to like hear it. It's in the ether, like, oh, get like a cosmic net and try and catch it or something like that. So all right, those numbers are coming in, and here we go. Michael drops a 111, and we've got Dandelion Druth 127. Oh, we've got 2 111s coming out of the gate. Felicia drops in her second guess with a 113. Dandelion dropping her second guess with a 115. Rasta with a 123. Felicia with another 123. My goodness, we've got folks on the same timeline and wavelength here. We've got Ruth dropping in a 122. Dandelion with her final guess of a 107. Forever Strong dropping in a 123 as well. Oh, we've got people throwing their guesses away after multiple guesses on the same number. What is this? What is happening? Oh, the huge manatee. Mary drops a 125. The race is still going. Kaio drops a 112. Feral Kitty drops a 105. And Mary drops a 110. Again, I like how you guys are listening to this in the future. So you guys, like, this has already happened for you. This, like, happened 10 minutes ago. Okay, no one's got it yet. No one's got it yet. So, all right. And the guesses are still coming in. Michael drops in a 101. And who's going to be making the next guess? If you've already made 3 guesses, you can guess again. So go ahead. we'll let people guess again. I'm assuming someone's going to guess it very, very soon. But again, if you're not guessing, please feel free to guess. And the guesses only count if you're on YouTube. So all right, and the guesses are back in it again with a 121, 129, 117, 121, and 128. Oh, no one's got it quite just yet, but my goodness, they're getting close. Mary drops a 102. Farrell drops a 118. And I say close as in, like, not by, like, it's time-wise, not literally. We're getting closer to the point where somebody's going to guess it. And Farrell drops a 118. Rasta with a 119. All right, just drop your guesses. Everybody, like, just go wild. No one's got it yet. So, assuming by the future, no one's got it yet. But maybe someone will get it by the time this future reaches you. Nope, no one's got it yet either. Nope. That would be boring. My commentary, it's just like, no. You guys are close. No one's got it yet. I mean, it usually does. It's not intended to go this long. Like, this isn't supposed to be, like, annoying up to a certain point. We're just like, damn it, what the hell? I mean, I'm tempted to just even double check to make sure that, yep, no one's got it. You guys are close. No one's got it yet. You like a lot of the guesses. You guys are guessing more than once. I think that's what's happening. You guys are guessing outside of the bracket sometimes. We're almost there though. And Rasta drops a 122. Dandelion with a 101. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean for this one to be so hard. And Ruth drops a 123. This could go on for infinity. That was a clue right there. If no one's got it by then, this could go on for infinity. That was a clue. So, all right. Aquarius drops a 111. And Pharaoh Kaylee drops a 127. Rasta drops an emoticon. The fiasco is just out of control, folks. My goodness. Will someone help these people figure out what number they haven't guessed yet? Because it's probably the only number that hasn't been guessed. And there's been literal multiple guesses of the same number back to back. I mean, I'm not. Oh, there it is. Oh, and Michael gets it with the 108. I think it must have been Michael. Let me know. Was it my clue? Did you get my clue, Michael? Michael got it. It was 108. I said this could go on for infinity, and the 8 looks like an infinity sign. So that was funny. Good job, team. Good job. I like seeing you guys guess the same number multiple times. Because again, like the lag on that, like you wouldn't know sometimes. So literally just like 3 people at once be like, doo-doo-doo. So, all right. Good job, team. All right. Okay, let's get into our next reading. So Michael, you can help facilitate. Let's get that next Patreon sign up before 10:30. So again, if you're tuned into this broadcast and you guys want to be able to help us reach our goal on Patreon and support the clue work for Michael and help support the ongoing work that I do for the conscious community and be able to join as a leading member in our community, which gives you access to our private community space, then go ahead, add your support to the Patreon while we're on the broadcast right now. Only takes about 3 or 5 minutes, and when you join on there, you can get you can facilitate the next reading as well, plus a lot of other cool stuff, which is a really, really exciting thing to be able to talk more about, but we'll do that later. So again, for Michael, let me know if you're ready in the chats, and we'll facilitate this next reading. And we're going to use the tarot deck again. We'll use the Lightworker Oracle deck if someone wants to use it once they sign up for the Patreon. So let's get that new Patreon sign up once you're ready to do that. And drop a 555 if you're thinking of signing up for the Patreon, even in the future as well, or today. Like, drop a 555 if you're thinking of signing up in the future. And again, when you sign up to the Patreon, like, it's not just like, oh, here's me throwing my money away. It's like, here's me making an energetic vote for something that I want to see more of. And so when you support on Patreon, you're also investing in yourself. And it's like a really, really cool way to be able to connect with a really awesome community. So for others in the team chat who are already on the Patreon, go ahead and tell them about why the Patreon is super awesome, and we'll get more people signed up as we go. So again, we'll do this, we'll do that. We'll do the first reading. We'll do this reading for Michael. This is our second reading of the night. And then the next reading will be for the next person who signed up for Patreon. And we'll literally keep doing readings. I'll stay up all night tonight. Because again, tonight's like the extra push, because tonight's the last night for new signups before contributions go through on July 1st. If you sign up tomorrow, your contribution doesn't go through until August 1st, which is still cool. It's still fine either way. But this is just kind of like the initial last push for the month, which is always an event. So this is like a special event tarot. All right, team, let's do that. The clock is ticking. It's almost midnight. Oh, we gotta get those signups. Like, I think it literally counts at midnight too. Anything after that is tomorrow. All right, Michael's ready. Let's do this. Thank you again, everyone, for supporting me and explaining things. I know it's try to be balanced and concise with it. All right, let's do this. Michael, thank you so much for joining, and for everybody here, just inviting you to be able to bring your awareness to your breath. Close your eyes, straighten your spine, and just allow yourself to be present with your breathing. Deep, gentle inhales and soft, gentle exhales. And as you breathe here, just bringing your awareness to a space of gratitude. So for everybody tuned in, if you're new, we do these as team readings, collective intention settings. So please feel free to add your focus here. And as we're in this place of gratitude, just reflecting on gratitude for the team, gratitude for the messages we are about to receive, gratitude for the space. And from here, Michael and everybody, focus your attention on the intention of show us what we need to see. Put that intention out there. Us being the collective, us being individuals, us being the team. Speak that intention with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your words, speak it with your soul. And Michael, go ahead and take a few more breaths here, focusing on that intention. Show us what we need to see. And when you're ready, listen to your intuition and then type now into the chat. And then we'll pull the card by splitting the deck. And for everybody else, you guys are welcome to leave your wizard wooing noises in the chat. And I'll charge the deck a little bit more. Here we go. And so, my friends, do you see that this is what happens when the wizards reunite, the wizard within you and the wizard within me? So here we are, gathered around this round table to be able to help incant the magic that will enable us to rise into our power throughout the land as we continue to bring magic to all who stand. And now is the time, as Michael leaves the message in the chat, to be able to see what message the universe has. Ooh, interesting. All right, the card that we have pulled for everybody, facilitated by Michael, is Swords 2. And again, what makes this interesting is that we literally just got Flames 2. Imagine how crazy it would be if we literally just got, like, after this, we get, like, Cups 2, and then Spheres 2 or something like that. So again, Swords 2. Let me take a moment here and I'll show you I'll talk to you a little bit more. I'm just going to open up the book. And of course, huge shout out. We actually did get our first Patreon sign up for tonight. So thank you so much to Ruth. Ruth, who is already in the YouTube chat. I can see Ruth there. For everybody here, please feel free to give a nice thank you and welcome to Ruth. And Ruth joined at the $11 level. So that means they can join as a leading member within the community. And Ruth, like, we literally have like a Conscious Media Creators meeting tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST. You can check out the recordings. You can join in for that. And so thank you, Ruth. Go ahead, everybody, say a nice thank you to Ruth. And Ruth, you'll help facilitate the next reading, assuming you don't have to leave early. And we'll keep going there. And then, yeah, let's keep working towards getting some more Patreon signups. And I'll update the on-screen information real quick. And then we will get right into reading what this card has to say for us. And I think I have to restart. the Instagram broadcast in a second. I have to restart every hour, and I think it's almost been an hour. How long has it been, actually? Let me just check real quick. 48 minutes. Okay, I'm good. All right, just updating the info here. So thank you to Ruth. Awesome. And Ruth, so Ruth, when you signed up, you'll see the link for the team chat that would have come through an email. It's also in the info for this YouTube. When you're in the team chat, leave a message and just be like, hey, this is Ruth, and let me know if you want to join as a leading member, and then I'll give you access to the rest of the chat as a leading member, and then that's where you can join in with our Zoom meetings and all the other cool stuff that we got going on. So thank you so much, Ruth. And again, let's move into this next reading, and we'll keep an eye on our next Patreon sign up as we go. Let's set our next Patreon sign up. We'll set our goal for our next Patreon sign up by before 10:45. So for everybody here, 30 minutes from now, 10:45, before that. Everybody here, set your intention, and please feel free to help invite people to the Patreon by just pumping it up in the chat. So, and if you're on desktop, if you click, there's a circle in the top corner of this broadcast. If you're on desktop, that is the Patreon link as well, and it's also in the info. So, and for those of you on TikTok and Instagram, the link's in my profile. All right, let's do this. Okay, this is gonna be cool. So again, we literally had Flames 2 right before this. So it's a theme of duality tonight. Okay, I'm gonna explain it to you visually. Thanks again, everyone, for joining in. Take a picture of this, post it to your Instagram, and tag me as Mystic Spider-Man, and tell people to click the link in my profile, and you can invite your friends to tune in. Here we go. What do we got here? Visually explaining it, we've got two swords floating in the air, pointing in opposite directions. One's kind of more within the card, one's a little bit off to the side, and one's kind of very magically hanging this kind of drape, but this drape is also like sunlight, so to speak. Like, it's weird. It's kind of like the negative space, but the negative space it is in itself like a cloth, and that cloth is basically opening up to the version of the sky what that is daytime. And then you kind of got the negative space, which is like the nighttime backdrop. And you can see there's actually like a little yin yang there. There's a cute little yin yang. It's almost so small you almost don't even see it. They couldn't not put it in there. And of course, it's kind of floating above the landscape. And then down below, like you can even see like it's kind of like the cloth. It's kind of like tattered there. That's kind of what that is there. It's not just a tree line. It's actually like ripped or something. Yeah, and you got a couple sparkly stars up in the sky. So beautiful. Let's read a little bit more about this. And thank you again to everybody for joining in. And please feel free to tell your cat to join the Patreon. And let's get into this next reading. My apologies to you and your cat. All right. Okay, team. Let's do this. If you are here, this message is for you. And as I'm reading this, drop some 1111s in the chat if this resonates. And please feel free to leave any affirmations as what I'm talking about resonates with you. We'll get more into the affirmations as we go. All right. If you are here, this message is for you. Two of Swords, the image. Two glassy swords of the same shape expose the secret of duality and reveal the difference between day and night. The Two of Swords expresses itself in restlessness of thought from its original condition of pure being, in which only the one is alone. The mind brings forth concrete thoughts. Between consciousness and unconsciousness, attention wanders restlessly from one thought to another. Whereas the mind in its purest form rests peacefully in the world of duality, it seeks identification with its physical body. The individual defines his own ego above the outer world. In the tension of opposition, indecision and doubt take hold, and are not put aside even by the sharpest of intellects. Untiring analytical comprehension tends to break the world down to its little puzzle pieces, and then puts them back together again, without ever grasping a sense of the whole. On the way to consciousness, man lives in the world of matter. A yearning finally awakens for the return of unity. Out of this need, he tries to unite opposites with one another. Very strong differentiation abilities are necessary for bringing understanding and feeling into harmony with one another. Astrological significance: moon's nodes, Mercury, opposition aspects. Keywords: communication, world of duality, thought exchange, differentiation abilities, coordination, balance between understanding and feeling, cause and effect, attentiveness. Traditional meaning: conflict, for and against, partnership, division and completion. yearning for oneness, indecision, skepticism, wavering, union of opposites. Okay. So from here, I'm just going to riff a little bit more and just kind of like share some channeled inspiration, whatever comes to mind, to be able to help support us on our mission. Again, as I'm going through this, I think I'll have to restart the Instagram feed halfway through this, but we'll figure that out. And again, let's keep an eye open for that next Patreon supporter as we go. In the next reading, we'll get right into, and we'll do that for Ruth. So duality. What's the deal with duality? Well, one of the things that I find really interesting about duality is just the many ways in which you can come to understand it. And one of the things that I'm actually kind of interested in is the interface between the duality and where the edges meet. So when you think about this is literally kind of like that place of like between the inhale and the exhale. If you notice, there's kind of like an edge and then it kind of like comes back. That is a very, very, very sacred space. And it's kind of reminding us that every single thing that appears to be two things is actually connected as one thing, even if it's only kind of observable as being only slightly connected. It is connected. And so with this card is really about being able to understand a huge part of our life's mission as being something where we come into this world born into the perception of duality, or perhaps we're taught duality. I don't know. Does a baby naturally develop an understanding of duality? But either way, the duality is a part of our story, because the big thing with duality is understanding that sometimes things literally have to be separate in order to be fully understood. I'll say that again in a different way. Things have to be separate sometimes. Things have to be separated in order to be more fully understood, or to be more wholly understood. And so in this sense, this for me really brings in this idea of understanding that the illusion of separation is a part of the journey. It's not something in itself that is inherently wrong. It is simply a part of the journey. And sometimes we have to see how completely opposite things are in order to be able to see where the balance is in between. Sometimes you have to know wrong in order to be able to know right. Sometimes you have to go through sadness in order to be able to experience joy. And so even within these concepts, it's important to be able to understand that literally within each and every single one of us is the ability to help bring forth a knowledge of harmony, to be able to help bring forth a presence of harmony. But within this, it is also very important that we ourselves are kind of like creating harmony inside first. So this is about being able to create harmony between our conscious and our unconscious. And if you were to look at kind of like what we are, you could literally classify it down to that. You could understand us as being a mixture of that which we are conscious of and that which we are unconscious of. And those two things together kind of make up the sum of who we are. And so when I say conscious, literally you can think of it as like that where light shines. So when light shines on something, say for example, you're in a room, you're shining a light, you shine it on the floor, you can see something on the floor because you're shining a light on it. That would be conscious. In the other part of the room, you're not shining a light on it, but there is still something there, but you just can't see it. You are not conscious of it. You are unconscious of it. So within this idea, this is about understanding that yes, we exist in a world of duality, but part of our mission is to be able to help create harmony within the midst of duality. Like that is part of the challenge, where the universe is like, we're going to take this, we're going to take this, we're going to put it all the way over here, and your job is to bring it back to wholeness. That's like lifting a dumbbell. It's like you got to separate in order to be able to bring back. You got to find chaos in order to be able to create a new level of synergy. And so within our day-to-day life, the process of awakening our consciousness is literally the process of making the unconscious conscious within ourselves. And what I mean by that is literally just kind of like, think about how much of your life is perhaps just kind of like automatic behavior, almost kind of like autonomous, like in a sense where it's just like, yeah, you're just kind of running through the motion sort of thing. Or again, this can be something where if someone does something to you, it might kind of like really trigger a reaction opposed to necessarily a response. Not to say that the reaction in itself doesn't have some validity to it, but again, if you're just immediately reacting, that in itself is kind of like skipping this process where we have the opportunity to be able to bring conscious awareness to be able to shine a light on that reaction before it actually turns into, shine that light on like a thought before it even begins to arise into an action. And so that is kind of like what it is, where like the unconscious will sometimes kind of like, there will be things within us, and it's like every now and then something will like almost like jump out of the shadows. It'll be like, rah, like this is me getting pissed off at my sister for not putting the remote back, rah, or something like that. Something stupid, right? Like something trivial, and it'll just kind of like jump out. What you want to do is you want to kind of be able to like see it as it's like about to jump out, and then take your like metaphysical flashlight and then shine it and be like, hey, what are you doing? What are we gonna yell at her? Like, is that gonna solve anything? Is that really what we're doing? Yeah, go, like, it's okay, man. Like, it's okay, I got this. You can hang out wherever. I'm making you conscious. Hey, come hang out in the light. You can hang out with us here. Okay, sweet. And then it kind of like dissolves it. And over time, it's like more and more of these, like, I'm like imagining this is like, I don't know, like little like thought gremlins or something, like little like behavioral egos that are like personified or something like that. And each one kind of lives in the shadows. And it's like we have to kind of like gently invite them over to the light. And they're not actually that bad. They're just like misunderstood. There's like, oh, like, okay, I don't want to yell at my sister. I just need to be understood. Is that I hope that metaphor makes sense. Drop a 777 if somehow my metaphor makes sense. But again, it's understanding that even that little thought gremlin is in itself the journey of duality, the lesson of duality. So this is again about being able to kind of like observe things in the intention to be able to understand them while there may even be unconscious, to bring consciousness to them, to create balance. And this is really interesting, balance between understanding and feeling. That's a great way to be able to kind of like approach like the duality within ourselves, is to be able to kind of like not just seek to feel something so heavily, and not just to understand something so heavily, but to understand something and to feel something at the same time. And this is kind of what the card talks about, where it's like, if you get like super like analytical, like super just kind of one side of the duality, just like, you know, purely just like super just like seeing things as like numbers and everything like that. I don't know how much, like, I'm just saying this, but this might not make a lot of sense. I'm thinking as I'm saying, I'm like, wait, well, actually numbers are pretty beautiful. But if you're seeing things as just kind of being very like regimented, I should say, then again, you know, like within that, it kind of cuts off the heart. Like the balance of the feeling isn't really there. And then if there is like a situation that results in that, it might make it challenging for you to kind of create harmony in that, if you purely just approach it from like an analytical place, opposed to being able to bring both kind of like the emotional presence and the analytical observation as part of your practice, to be able to make, again, whatever you're looking at a little bit more conscious. So even though this card really does emphasize that, yeah, conflict is something that will arise, kind of going back to the other card, again, it's also understanding that that conflict is there to be able to basically like help us make something more conscious. You look at what's happening in the world right now. It's just like, oh man, here's something entirely crappy, but why are we seeing it? Oh, so that we can make it conscious, and then so that we can again begin to create harmony and everything like that. So with this card, it really also does kind of invite us to be able to step into a little bit more of that warrior, a little bit literal light warrior, light guardian, where it's like, I love this motto. This is a motto we kind of share within the team, where it's like, within the darkest nights, we learn to shine our brightest light. And this is actually like the story of like the mythos of the light guardians within the project. Like the team we are building is literally like this global team of light guardians who are here in this mythos, where basically in the times when shadow looms, the light rises. That's what happens. Like that's what happens. It happens on other planets and other dimensions. And it's happening right here, and it's happening externally, but it's also happening internally. So even within yourself, how do you respond when your shadow looms, and how do you rise to meet it with light? So that's like part of the duality of this. But again, you know, I say that from the perspective of being able to understand a little bit more of our higher purpose of, again, creating harmony within, so that we can create harmony without, which I know you've heard that like a million times before, but this card really hits home on it. And I'll just say this, and then we'll wrap this up. And we did get another Patreon supporter. Thank you so much. I'll mention them in a second. The way how I see it, and let me know if this like makes sense for you, if this resonates for you, drop another 777 in the chat. The way how I see the yin yang as a symbol, I don't even think of it so much as like light and light and like black and white, or like light and darkness. I like to use the terms light and shadow, because again, shadow more implies this idea that like we're kind of in this like space, and shadow exists when there is like a, where the light is not. Where the light is not, there is a shadow, and the shadow will, like, an object will create a shadow simply by existing in the light. You can't not have that. And so therefore, kind of within this idea, it's basically where like the one side of the yin yang is light, the other side is shadow. They're both two parts of a whole, and then the ring around the yin yang, I refer to that as love. So it's understanding that both light and shadow are like inside of love. And that's a paradigm shift in itself, right? But that's a big theme of this card, is like, one of the ways to be able to help create harmony is to be able to understand that both the shadow and the light are there for the growth of our consciousness. Like, once you can kind of understand that, instead of just being like, oh, like, screw you, shadow, like, you can get angry at it. You can get as angry as you want. It's always going to be relative, but you can't like hate it out of existence. Like that doesn't really happen. It's not possible. So again, it's kind of like more about this transmutation process, this integration process. Oftentimes where there's shadow, there is healing that is taking place at the same time. So this is inviting us into our own personal healing and from part of the collective healing, rising as light guardians. Some really, really cool stuff. And again, I like how the keywords in this are communication. So how are you communicating this narrative that we are existing in which we are creating harmony in a world of duality? And the balance between understanding and feeling, attentiveness, beautiful, and yearning for oneness, indecision, wavering, union of opposites. Yeah, I like that idea of yearning for oneness. Think of that feeling. Think of that idea just as an idea. The idea of yearning for oneness. Like, do you feel that in you? It's in you, like 100%. It's in you, whether or not you consciously feel it right now. It is in you, and you can feel it. This, like, it's part of who we are. We're like, the universe always yearns for harmony. Always. Even when shifts messed up, it always does what it can to bring itself back to harmony. It might go out into chaos for a little bit, but it always does what it can to be able to help bring itself to harmony. And you are an extension of that nature, of that desire, of that will. The universe is trying to bring forth more harmony into this world, and it is literally doing it through us, through our actions. So very, very cool card. Rising as, I like the Two of Swords, as if you're holding like two swords or two lightsabers. So very, very cool card. Again, really being able to can you hold the wisdom of shadow and light at the same time? Can you? I mean, I think we can. Can you? What does it mean when you kind of like intentionally understand a little bit more about what that is all about? So awesome. Let this call us into our power to be able to help create harmony within the world by creating harmony within ourselves and understanding things on a deeper level as we continue to yearn for consciousness and yearn for oneness. Two of Swords, thank you so much for Michael for helping facilitate that reading. For those of you here, leave an affirmation in the chat, something that relates to this card. So leave an affirmation that will tell your body that you heard this message. It helps you embody the message. So I would say an affirmation for me off the top of my heart would be, I affirm to be able to help embody harmony within myself while continuing to bring consciousness to that which is unconscious internally and externally. I'll say that. So cool. All right. Two of Swords. Awesome card. So there you go, team. All right. Well, with that said, we are going to get into our next reading. We really don't have to take any sort of intermission here. I'll just take a little bit of water and we'll read some affirmations in a second. But huge thank you again to Ruth for joining on the Patreon. Oh, I have to restart the Instagram. I totally forgot to do that. That's probably been off air for a while now. That's all right. So again, I'm just gonna restart that, but huge thank you again to Ruth, and we did also get a new Patreon supporter. Thank you so much to Carissa, who I believe is Kaio in the chat. Carissa, can you just confirm if that is indeed you as Kaio in the chat? And I love that name. I had like a character name, like there was like Kaio was like a part of their name. It was something I did back in the day. So all right, hold on. Oh, my camera's frozen. I didn't even notice. 1 second here. I'll fix this. Pew, pew. All right, confirm my camera is back on. Just be like hi, or just It's back on. I know it's working. All right. Okay. That was only just there for a second once I restarted that. So, all right. Restarting broadcast on Instagram, and I'm going to update the on-screen graphics. That puts us at 189. We're at 189. Thank you so much, Carissa. And again, go ahead and leave those affirmations down in the chat. I'll read some of those in the next few moments. So go ahead. What are your affirmations related to that card? And adding Carissa's name up top. Thank you to our recent Patreon supporters, to Carissa, to Ruth, to Lauren, to Michael, and to Jolene. Awesome. And again, Carissa, if you want to be able to upgrade to the leading member level, you're more than welcome to. You can check out the team chat and even feel things out, and you can do that when you're ready. And again, thank you so much for adding your support. Awesome. All right. Okay. That's cool. Michael says, been drawing Two of Swords a lot. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome, Michael. I'm glad it resonated with you. Please don't flatter me with words like handsome in the live chat. It makes me blush. Please don't. I'm like half serious too. It's like, I don't know. I only like it when my girlfriend calls me handsome. So. All right, thank you, team. Felicia, here, Tingo, Kaio. Okay, cool. Go ahead, team. I didn't affirmation, Kaio. The light and shadow are catalysts for shifting my consciousness. Beautiful. Mary, I allow myself to understand that sometimes things must be separate to fully be understood, and it's a part of the journey to help create harmony within. Beautiful. Well said, Mary. Michael, using vulnerability to invite the parts of our shadow into the light. Awesome. Beautiful. They have to be understood in their parts before they can be understood as a whole. Awesome. Good job, team. Good affirmations. Wonderful. All right. Okay, let's get into our next reading. So again, for Ruth, let me know in the chat if you're ready, and you'll help facilitate this next reading. And then the next reading we'll do that for Carissa, for Kaio. And from here, let's set, I'm setting a target to be able to get another Patreon sign up by 11. So that's in about a half hour from now. So if we can do that, that would be dope. And again, for anybody here, I'll post a link down below, and you're welcome to be able to sign up there. And again, when you sign up there, you can join as a leading member within our community, and that gives you access to a private team space to support conscious creators and leaders. Let me just a sec here. I just have to restart the Instagram again. And Ruth is ready. All right, Ruth, thank you so much. Just restarting the Instagram here, and we'll get right into that next reading. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, I'm just gonna take a little bit of tea. Again, if you guys are watching this broadcast, please feel free to like do art while watching it. You could be like doodling or just doing two things at once. Infinity. There we go. I have to restart the camera like that every time I go live on Lula. So again, we're currently at 189 on Patreon. Thank you again, everyone, so much for adding your support and for being present here tonight. Let's get into our next reading. And again, let's set our next target goal for getting another Patreon sign up by 11 p.m. So if you're ready to sign up for the Patreon, you can check it out. You can read more about it. And for others in the chat, go ahead, hype up that Patreon and invite a few more people to be able to join. And we'll get as close as we can to 196 tonight. Ruth, before we go into your reading, which deck would you like? Would you like the Lightworker Oracle deck, or would you like the Tarot deck? So you have a choice. Same with you, Carissa, when you go. Lightworker Oracle deck is a little bit more, like, less symbolic, a little bit more literal, but with some really cool themes related to Lightworker stuff. Tarot is obviously a little bit more traditional, a little bit more symbolic, but still really cool in its own way, and a little bit more like layered, so to speak. So, all right, awesome. Keeping an eye on the Instagram. I'm gonna try something here. I just want to see. Is my TikTok? Not my TikTok. My Twitter. Can I go live on Twitter? I'm just gonna do that real quick. All right. Ruth is going to choose the Oracle deck. Beautiful. All right, give me 2 seconds here. I'm just restarting the feed again. All right, perfect. We're ready to go. Okay, Ruth, we will do the Lightworker Oracle deck. And Ruth, thank you again so much. And yeah, again, if you have any questions about the team chat, I'll be happy to answer those. And again, just jump in the team chat and let us know your username once you're set up there if you would like to be involved as a leading member. Okay, Infinity activate. Okay. All right, broadcast is starting on Instagram and Twitter. That's the one. All right. Okay. For everybody here, go ahead and join us in being able to take a moment to meditate together, to collectively set our intention. Again, for those of you who are new, welcome. When we do these broadcasts, this is us building as a team, supporting each other as light workers, as conscious creators. And we work with these cards to be able to receive additional insight, clarity, and inspiration. So for everybody here, just go ahead and gently join us in closing your eyes and just take a moment here to connect with your breath. So just breathing here. Just allow yourself to be present in this space of gratitude. Gratitude for the messages we are about to receive, gratitude for the community, gratitude for the sacred space. And as you continue to breathe here, Ruth and everyone, just take a moment here to bring your awareness to the intention of show us what we need to see. So focus on that intention. We as in individuals, we as in the collective, we as in the team. Show us what we need to see. Ruth, go ahead and take a few more breaths and listen to your intuition. And when you're ready, type now into the chat. For everybody else, drop your wizard noises into the chat as well, and we'll charge up the deck here. And if so, we arrive at the oracle once again, my friend, to be able to look within the eye of infinity that never ends. For what messages will be seen, for what stories will be told as we continue to unfold throughout the realms of mystery and beyond. We are coming together here to sing this song, for this is the one verse, the universe, the story in which love comes first. And so let us do our part within this play to be able to help show others the way. And breathe into the space as I can. The now's coming any second, and we will see what card shall be brought into place. Take a moment here, breathing. There it is. Now. Whoa. Split the deck, kind of grabbing the bottom one there. Here it is. Ooh, okay, cool. All right. The card that we have pulled for our next reading, again, helping being facilitated by Ruth, our newest Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, Ruth. Is number 5, Karmic Clearing, with for a second I'm like, wait, did they spell clearing with a K? But they didn't. It's spelled properly. Karmic Clearing with a K. Karmic Clearing. Let me take 2 seconds here. I'm going to open up the book and I'm going to get that ready so we can read that there in a second. Again, for those of you on TikTok or Instagram rather, and for those of you on Facebook, click the link in my profile to join in. And for those of you on Facebook, you can click my my personal profile and find the link on YouTube in my timeline. But again, if you're sticking around on Facebook chat, that's totally cool. Let's get into this reading. And again, let's work on getting that next Patreon sign up by 11 o'clock. So if you're a fan of the work, not only that I do, but what we're creating here as a community, and you want to connect further, check out the Patreon, join as a leading member with a monthly micro contribution. And again, you can see we're working towards our goal of 196 tonight. So let's dive into this reading. Thank you, Ruth. Visually explaining it, look at this image. This is such a dope image. So we've got this image of this like individual standing at the top of a hill, and just with their arms in the air, and they're just kind of like held in the hands of higher dimensional beard man in the sky. Who is that guy? Who's that? What's that old man with the beard in the sky? What's that about? I mean, however you choose to interpret it, a very god-like image, but again, representing more so kind of the connection to higher consciousness within our own heart, within ourselves. Very powerful symbolism, again, of kind of climbing the mountain. And again, I'm just explaining it literally. We're not like into the interpretation just yet. And again, just looking at the colors there, beautiful reds, beautiful solemn look on their face. And yeah, that person looks pretty happy to be at the top of the mountain, and maybe that's a sun rising, or maybe that's like them emanating. Maybe they are the sun. Plot twist, maybe we're actually like suns embodied having human experiences. Stay tuned and find out. All right, let's dive a little bit deeper. All right, let's get into this. I'm going to read the book again. If you're here, this message is for you. Let's work on getting that next Patreon sign up, or anybody who wants to increase their pledge. And yeah, let's keep rocking it. It's almost 12 o'clock, so we have to get as many Patreon signups as we can before 12 o'clock, because that's when the process goes through. So, all right, thanks again, everyone. If you're here, this message is for you. Number 5, karmic clearing. You are fast outgrowing a level of consciousness to which are attached particular wounds, issues, and struggles. As you outgrow that consciousness, these issues will release their grip on you. You are receiving divine notice that karmic clearing is taking place through a combination of our own efforts and spiritual grace from the heart of the divine. It is time for an old wound to be released once and for all. Karma is not punishment. Excuse me. 1 second. I need to drink water if I'm going to do my special universe voice. Karma is not punishment. Karma is essentially our soul's lesson plan for this lifetime, carried over from past lifetimes. It is the way we grow and develop a soul, sometimes through challenges and sometimes through blessings. Our positive karma is seen in the skills and talents we have mastered over many lifetimes. Also, when opportunities flow easily and healing happens swiftly, there is a sense of positive karma, an easy grace that effortlessly takes place in your life. This is what happens when we are clear enough of our own past pain to have little resistance between the natural flow of life. More challenging karma is revealed in the lessons we are still learning. These usually appear in the guise of painful circumstances or reactions that repeat themselves in our lives. The stronger the soul, the more challenging the lessons it is willing to master this lifetime. Let me reread that. That's a big thing in itself. The stronger the soul, excuse me, the stronger the soul, the more challenging the lessons it is willing to master this lifetime. Oh, all you strong souls out there, you guys are. As with any education, the higher the level of training, the more demanding the work. When you are working through big challenges, it is often a sign that you are on an advanced spiritual path. Must you always have struggle in your life as an advanced soul? Of course not. As you master your lessons, you will find you develop an ability to live your life more peacefully. However, it would be incorrect to interpret a struggle as a sign that you are not progressing spiritually. Sometimes the more painful a struggle has been, the more difficult it can be to release that pain and associate memories or scars. The spiritual worlds know that you are in need of divine intervention to help clear a pattern that was once painfully lodged in your body, mind, and soul. Enough of the struggle. Divine love now offers healing and freedom. We clear karma by learning to trust and relax, by choosing not to punish ourselves with shame, guilt, fear, or unworthiness, by continuing to balance our efforts with a surrender into divine grace. We take responsibility for our own healing, doing all that we can and trusting that the universe will lovingly and effectively handle everything else so that we can progress and succeed. If you have been struggling with a long-term issue, this oracle card comes as a particular sign that the universe wants to step in and assist you. Repeat the invocation below for at least 6 days and nights. Invite the healing blessing of karmic lessons through love into your life now. And there's an invocation. You don't necessarily obviously have to repeat it, but again, even just having your own affirmation as we go through this is something you're welcome to repeat. So I'm going to riff on this a little bit further and just kind of talk from my own kind of channeling on what this message has for us to be able to deliver that message. And again, let's, as we're doing this, Patreon button's up there. If anybody is ready to sign up for the Patreon today, go ahead and click a 555. Drop a 555 in the chat, and it's we're aiming for 11 p.m. for that next Patreon sign up. So even Patreon sign up supporters, people already signed up, please feel free to hype it up in the chat, and we'll dive a little bit deeper with this one. So thanks again, everyone. You guys are awesome. So This is a really, really, really powerful card that really dives into some deep lessons, and this is why I like the Lightworker Oracle deck, because it really doesn't shy away towards getting into more of the multidimensional layers of this human experience. And a big part of this human experience is ultimately being able to not only understand karma, but being able to understand how to be able to heal where the karma arises, so to speak. And so essentially, again, what karma is kind of the lessons we are undertaking for our soul at any given circumstance. But the better way of being able to understand karma is to be able to understand that the purpose of that karma is literally there to help move you back onto your dharma. So your dharma is like your life path. That is like kind of like your path where you are fulfilling your soul's purpose, kind of before you come into this lifetime, if you choose to perceive it this way. There's this very powerful idea that you actually kind of like decide you make an agreement like with your body in terms of like what you're going to try and do. So it's almost like, well, I am in this body, I am going to try and complete XYZ, so to speak. And so if that is your purpose, that is your dharma. And so the karma is, again, kind of like the energy of the universe that will help redirect you to this. So with this card is really being able to focus on kind of like making sure that we're getting ourselves ready for the even more advanced lessons ahead by being able to dive deep into any sort of advanced lessons that we currently have. Because karma in itself is like often an advanced lesson when we're dealing with it. I like the idea that with here, it basically talks about like how there's going to be what we can think of as like good karma. And the good karma is kind of, I like this idea. This is a powerful idea, and you guys can let us know if you resonate with this. Hi, Kelly. I can see you in the chat. With good karma, it's kind of that karma that is like this momentum that you've been creating from previous lifetimes that actually shows up within this lifetime as like skills and talents. And so, you know, for me, maybe if I'm good at communicating now, maybe in a past lifetime I didn't know how to shut up. Maybe I was like really talkative or something like that. Maybe I was a bard. Maybe I was a wizard. I don't know. Wink. But anyways, with this idea, it's basically kind of referring to the concept that we have a little bit more strength to us than we often might think. We sometimes think it's like we come into this life and we're literally starting from scratch, as if we're creating a brand new character within a video game, and all we have is what we've manifested within this lifetime or what we've had ability to be able to focus on. This card is kind of reminding us that we carry with us like this additional momentum, this additional wave of energy, this additional wave of purpose and of creativity with us into this lifetime. And so a big part of this is also being able to acknowledge those gifts that we carry with us that are here, not only to be able to step into our fulfillment, but to understand that stepping into our fulfillment is a path in which we continue to share our gifts to serve others as well. Because if you have a gift, it's something that, again, being able to share it with the world will actually help with perhaps part of your other karmic lessons, which perhaps is, again, just being able to find your strength in your voice, so to speak. So with this idea, it's basically saying that there's kind of some karma that's kind of like moving you forward, but then there's other karma that's almost kind of like preventing you from getting too far ahead, too fast. So it's like until you heal this karma that's kind of like related to wounds and things like that, related to old belief patterns, related to old paradigms, related to, again, false ideas. And false ideas literally usually sometimes are just wounds as well. Yeah, Michael, I can post a picture of this into the team chat afterwards. I'll do that afterwards for this one. I don't do it for everyone, but I'll post into the Discord the image and the write-up for this so you guys can read it. But yeah, again, with this card, I think this card is definitely a very powerful card to understand that in taking the time to be able to focus on the healing of our karma, and this is the karma that has resulted in us kind of, again, you know, making mistakes. If you've ever made a mistake in your life, again, that is essentially a karmic lesson. And I like to think of the idea that it's only a mistake if you don't learn from it, so to speak. You can't go through this life without making mistakes. Literally every single one of us will do certain things where we're just going to be like, well, that was stupid, I don't want to do that again. Or, oh, I learned from that one. Okay, I don't want, like, what do you want to bring with you forward, right? And so by being consciously aware that by being present with these lessons, that is a part of like learning the karma, learning the karmic lesson. And if you learn it, then that heals it, that kind of like that absolves it, so to speak. But if you don't learn it, then it's bound to repeat itself. And that's where, again, you know, you can get some people and it's like, damn, man, like that person's been on the same karmic loop. I've seen them get into the exact same like relationship like 3 times in a row now, or something like that. Again, just using that as a general example. But again, you know, it's important for us to be as present as possible with understanding that, going back to the other cards, like these tasks of healing and this task of making the unconscious conscious, it is literally being able to kind of like heal aspects of ourselves, but also the collective. So when we grow personally, we are growing within the collective. When we heal like a wound in ourselves that might have been caused when we were younger and things like that related to self-worth, we are literally like loving the universe. We are literally loving that part of the universe that is in us. Sometimes we kind of forget this. We literally forget that it's like, oh damn, man, like I am the universe. I should take some responsibility for healing my portion of it. It's like the universe, like in all its infinity, it's like, okay, you're going to take care of this part of the universe. You're going to take care of this part of the universe, like just a little tiny piece of the universe. But within that tiny piece is the entire thing. And that little tiny piece is our life. You know, it's like, and understanding that when you, again, create harmony within yourself, when you create healing, when you create consciousness, it's also, again, creating this healing collective karmic. It's this collective karmic thing that's kind of happening globally. And we're seeing that a lot right now. And I think one of the big powerful ideas, and I'll just riff on this for a little bit longer, is understanding, this is a powerful idea, and let me know if you resonate with this, that right now within this lifetime for humans, what makes it actually so unique is that here right now we have the ability to essentially like heal like intergenerational karma in a single lifetime. Like we actually have that ability through like deep personal work, deep transformation, working with additional tools and everything like that. We have the power to heal multi-generational trauma within one lifetime, or not even just trauma, but karma within one lifetime. Like this is more so just an idea, but again, I think it's a very powerful idea just to be able to understand. Again, part of the reason why many of us are here, and also to be able to understand why what a lot of us are carrying right now is quite heavy. Like every single one of us is carrying some sort of karmic thing that needs healing. And we're all carrying heavy parts of it. If you're tuned into this broadcast and you're here to shift consciousness, you do not shift consciousness without carrying some part of like the collective heavy karmic lessons that we are going through related to self-worth and identity and harmony, and being able to bring together like the harmony between the duality and things like that. So this is your lesson. So what happens when you understand that your karma isn't necessarily like the universe just trying to get even with you or pick on you or anything like that, but your karma is literally like your duty, it's your responsibility, it's something that you chose to carry because you are strong enough to carry it, because you are strong enough to carry it and also transmute it. Whatever you're carrying, transmute it as well, right? Like you can carry it while you transmute it at the same time. And this is something that can take time, right? But again, just being able to understand that, being gentle with yourself and being able to just like really bring in this, I like this how it literally says, we take responsibility for our own healing, all that we can do, and trusting that the universe will lovingly and effectively handle everything else so we can progress and succeed. So within this, we literally, I want you guys to drop an 888 in the chat if you promise to take responsibility for your own healing. Drop an 888 in the chat if you promise to take responsibility for your own healing. Because that's huge, right? And I think a lot of people, they unconsciously don't. Like they unconsciously don't take responsibility for their healing. Basically what I mean by that is that they have something that requires healing, but they'll actually say like, oh, I am this way because of this and this. I am this way because of XYZ. And until XYZ changes, I am justified in being in this place of what is required and what could need healing, so to speak. So as long as you're doing that and you're saying, oh, my healing will never happen until XYZ changes, you're literally putting your energy outside of yourself. You're unconsciously not taking responsibility for your own healing. This can happen. And again, it's not to say like, if that's the case, that means like you're failing. It just means that there's something there where you can bring more consciousness to it. You can literally become more conscious and be like, oh crap, I'm fully responsible for my own healing. And I was unconsciously giving away my power by thinking that my healing couldn't take place until XYZ happened. Oh, wait a second, I can make things happen. And what can you do to help start, again, like integrating and healing and kind of cutting cords or doing what you need to do and deciding, you know, like what it is that you kind of want to be able to close the loop on as you get ready to be able to open up into more that is still to come. So as we intentionally heal our karmic stuff, we clear the way for those lessons. And then when we do that, the universe is like, good, here's your next mission. Because this is what we're really here for you to do. You know, this is what we want you to do. Like, no, we don't just want you to go through this entire lifetime just, you know, going through a journey of like carrying what feels like the heavy load of healing. That's part of it. And you're so brave for doing that. Each and every single one of you. I say this to you from the depths of my infinite heart. On behalf of the universe, you are incredibly brave for going through the things that you have gone through as a soul within this lifetime and the things that you're continuing to transmute and to heal. Thank you. Like, thank you on behalf of the universe. I see that. Thank you. I know it's not easy. I know how hard it is. And thank you for doing it. You are stronger because of it. And your story is bigger than your own. And now that you've been going through this process and learning and you're healing, maybe it's not over, maybe it's still going, you also receive the gift of wisdom, and you can pass on this wisdom to others and help others heal through their process as well. And that's how we start breaking the cycles. So rather than like having everybody else have to go through the same cycle over and over and over again, some of us are like, yo, let's go through the cycle right now, heal it, and then allow it so the cycle is broken, and then we open up space for new prosperity and thrivingness within the future still to come, so to speak. So this is a very, very, very powerful idea. I'll read the invocation here, and again, just reminding us that it's up to us to be responsible for our own healing and to understand that when we take the time to do our own karmic bring awareness to our karmic healing. Where do we need to heal? Wherever you feel there is hurt, that is a place where you can send more love. Remember that. Wherever you feel you are hurt, that is a place you can send more love. So if you're not sure where to heal, just feel where you are hurt and send more love there. And that's going to look different for every single one of us. I'm going to read the invocation here, and again, just really hitting upon that idea that through the healing of our own karmic wounds, so to speak, and our old lessons, we make room for new karmic lessons, which are again about rising us into more of our purpose of service, of creation, of activation, of leadership, of assisting others, of mentorship. Super, super, super exciting stuff that is again part of the reason why we are here. So we came to heal, and we came to heal the planet and to inspire each other. So the work that you do internally affects the entire, like, everyone. It affects everyone. When you work on yourself, you literally affect everyone. It's beautiful. So that's like a revolutionary thing to do. Like, that's a rebellious thing to do. You want to rebel right now? Take care of yourself. Like 100%, take care of yourself. That is one of the ways that you like literally rebel in today's society. Invocation, drop an 1111 if what I said resonates with you, and I can see the 888s. You guys are doing great, and get ready to leave an affirmation about what you extract from this message. Invocation. I call upon the karmic board of ascended masters, angels, guides, and holy ones who love me unconditionally and ask for your divine blessing, healing, and assistance now. As I'm reading this, you can like imagine you're saying it to yourself. Excuse me. I open myself up to divine grace, divine love, and karmic absolution. I choose to surrender my attachment to the experience, and yet I am now willing to learn and grow through a higher vibrational experience of love. Through divine authority and my own free will, this karmic clearing manifests now according to the highest law of love. May this blessing reach into the hearts of all beings according to divine compassion, mercy, and grace. Very powerful. And again, I like that idea that sometimes part of the healing process is literally taking place when even in the midst of kind of like hurt and pain, we allow ourselves to still be able to find relaxation and deep trust. So if that might be like a little bit of a thing where it's like in the midst of your pain, be rebellious by trying to become as like relaxed and trusting as possible, because that's everything that your ego won't want to do. But I think that again is a very important thing, just to be able to understand that sometimes that's a very pivotal part of the process, is to just be able to take care of yourself to such a level where you look back on your past and you see those wounds and you just see them differently, and you're just like, okay, I understand a little bit differently now, and I am being gentle with myself, and I am learning from this, and I am opening my heart to the ways in which people are capable of transforming, and I hold space for that within my heart, and I am holding space for my own strength to be shown through whatever is healing, whatever karmic lessons have taken place. So yeah, so very, very powerful card. Karmic cleansing, definitely something that the more of us who kind of intentionally clear our karma, again, that's like clearing karma, you know, it's like as you take care of that, some of it continues to kind of like continue to be, there could be stuff that we literally live as a karmic lesson, like we carry it with us. You know, it could literally just be something that kind of like continues to exist with us. But if there's certain things that you can leave behind, you'll know. And then again, from there, it creates space to be able to receive new things as well. And creating space for us to be able to level up and step into more of a power. Beautiful. All right, that was a super dope card. Ruth, let me know how that card resonated with you, and for anybody else, leave an affirmation. So affirmation related to this card, I am affirmation, leave it in the chat. I would say something like, I am taking responsibility for my own healing and making room for further fulfillment by sharing my karmic gifts. So beautiful, with others, to be in service and to inspire the hearts and minds. Beautiful. All right, karmic healing, beautiful card. I'll take a picture of that. I'll take a picture of that now, and I'll post it into the team chat just while I'm thinking of it, and then we'll get into our next reading for Carissa. Carissa, let me know if you're there and if you're ready, and we'll get into this next reading for you. And I'll read some affirmations from the chat on air when you guys type those in. And again, it's valuable to type in your affirmations because that basically just kind of like tells your body that you heard it, that you received the message. Because that'll happen sometimes. You'll literally like listen to something and you'll listen to it, but you won't receive it. You'll be like, oh, I heard that, but I didn't hear it. Okay, I'm just posting. Okay, there, I just posted that in the chat. Sending good vibes to everybody who's in this broadcast. If you're in this broadcast, thank you so much for being here. And for everybody here, please feel free to just like send good vibes to each other. Just take a moment here to create like just like a very powerful, loving energy vortex for all who are tuned into this broadcast. So please feel free to send that out to everybody who is tuned in. So beautiful. All right. Okay. Felicia, seeing your comment there. Kristen, I am sitting in peace with pain processes. I am sitting in peace while pain processes and allow the release. Beautiful. Awesome. Well said. Mary, I allow myself to heal this karma, understanding and take responsibility while loving and trusting the universe. Awesome. And I can see you guys 888 there for taking responsibility. So beautiful. All right. Cool, team. Okay, so Ruth, thank you again. And Carissa, you ready? So Carissa, let me know, what deck would you like to use for the team next? And more affirmations coming in, so I'll read those. Carissa, let me know, would you like the Oracle deck? That's the one that we just did. Or would you like the Tarot deck, which is a little bit more kind of like traditional and symbolic? This one's like still pretty literal and cool. Both are cool. Both are really cool. So whatever choice you make is meaningful. Ruth says, I am taking responsibility for healing my wounds so I can be a whole person and share my gifts of healing to everyone. Beautiful, Ruth. Michael, I am accountable for where I am at from where I've been to help myself and others for where we are going. Beautiful. Well said. Awesome job, everyone. All right. Okay, all right. Let's get into this next reading. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in. And again, let's work on reaching that next Patreon sign up. I would say like by 11:30. So it's 11 o'clock now. So again, for those of you who are here, we're working towards our Patreon goal. So if anybody here already on Patreon, if you guys want to increase your Patreon pledge, you're more than welcome to do that. Reminder, your contributions go through tomorrow, July 1st. So make sure that your card is updated if need be. And yeah, we'll get into the Oracle deck for Carissa. Beautiful. Awesome. So again, when you sign up onto the Patreon, you can join as one of our leading members within the community, which gives you access to our private community space. And again, you also get to be able to join our weekly on-air team podcasts, our team chat, our collaborative work periods for conscious media creators, discounts for the store where you can get beautiful items such as the Light Guardian Crystal, and lots more. And for everybody here, we're going to get right into that reading in 2 seconds. I'm literally just, I just have to take a bathroom break real quick. So literally just give me 2 seconds and we'll be back. And then I'll be good to sit down and drink water again for another like 2 hours. So thanks for understanding. And go ahead, leave some comments in the chat. What is one thing that you're grateful for right now? Leave that in the chat. I'll be right back. Do you guys like my little free hug sign? Can you even see it? There it is. It's just like the only thing on the wall. It looks funny. All right, okay. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in. Let's keep diving into our next reading. And again, this next reading is with Carissa helping facilitate, and it's for anybody who's tuned in right now. So. Beautiful. All right. Okay, good. We got all the chats open. All right. Cool. I'm going to use the Oracle deck. And again, for anybody here, if you're signing up for the Patreon tonight, if you're ready to do that, it only takes about 3 to 5 minutes. Go ahead and drop a 555 in the chat. And let's see if we can, let's reach that 190 goal before 11:30. So everybody here, set that intention. And quick gratitude as we get into our meditation. And again, Carissa, Kaio in the chat, we are going to just invite you to be able to drop into a little bit of meditation with us as we move through here. Okay. There's a fly in here. I'm going to catch it if I can. I can do that. I'm pretty good at like catching, just like grabbing a fly in midair, not like hurting it, just grabbing it and putting it outside. So if you see me like chase after a fly real quick, like that's, oh, there he is. I almost got him. I can't not do it. Okay, anyways. Grateful for you all powerful fam. I'm grateful I found this group of like-minded people. Awesome. Ruth, real quick, Ruth, how did you come across us? Same with Kaio. Did you guys come from TikTok? Just curious where you guys came in from. I am open to seeing my karma as a teacher and guide that is helping me work through and breaking through lessons. These are the other affirmations from below. I am accountable for where I'm at. Okay, that's one I read. Sending you all love bombs. Awesome. I am grateful for the lobe of the universe and flow of life. And love of the universe, for the lobe of the universe, for the earlobe of the universe. Beautiful sunsets and radiant moons, the birds in the sky singing songs in the light breeze. Beautiful. I'm grateful for the gift of breath and life. Awesome. Well said, everyone. I love just reading that. Okay, Kyle, you were tuned in on Facebook. Ah, okay, cool, sweet. Well, that's great. I'm glad you guys found it through Facebook. Did you see it? Did you see it from a group? Like, was it from a group that I posted in? If you remember, feel free to. I mean, I'm just curious what's working and stuff. So, all right, let's get into this next reading. We'll keep an eye onto the Patreon chat, and I think if I have to reset the Instagram broadcast, I'll do that. But I'll try not to interrupt myself. And thank you again, everyone. We got 14 people tuned in right now. So beautiful. Kaio helping facilitate this next reading. Again, this next reading is collectively for the team, and what we're going to do is we're going to drop into a little meditative space, and then from there we will focus on the intention of show us what we need to see. So beautiful, awesome. Ruth, I'm glad you found it. So all right. Okay, team, for everybody here, just take a moment, just be able to connect with your breath and drop into this meditative space. Just allow yourself to even just put your hands on your chest, hand on your heart, and just close your eyes here. As you listen to my voice, just inviting everyone to take a moment to connect with their breath. Deep, gentle inhales through the nose or the mouth, and soft, gentle exhales. And just continuing to breathe here. And as you're breathing here, giving your body permission to relax, even just kind of relaxing your face just by a little bit. Bring your awareness to gratitude. Gratitude in this moment. Gratitude in this into this space, into this safe space. Gratitude for the team. Gratitude for the messages we are about to receive. And for everybody here, collectively focusing your attention towards the intention of show us what we need to see. Us as in the collective, us as a team, us as the individual. And so, for everybody here, keep focusing on that intention. Show us what we need to see. Speak with your heart, speak with your mind, speak with your words, speak with your soul. And for Carissa, for Kaio, go ahead and take a few more breaths here. Listen to your intuition. When you are ready, type now in the chat and we will split the deck. For everybody else, leave them wizard noises in the chat. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, here we go. I'm going to charge the deck up just for a little bit. And so the many paths that this life will lead will bring us back to the mountain of infinity as we continue to ride and gallop upon our trusty steed, a steed named love, which has come from above to be able to help change this world one by one. And so, with every smile that we share and every heart that we open, may we continue to rebirth that which we are knowing. For the magic is within and the magic is throughout the land. And shoobity doobity boop, scoobity boop. Let us pull forth the card and see what message the universe has. Alakazam, Shazam! As I turn into Shazam. Oh no, Billy Paxton, is that you? Assume Boba Fett. Yeah. I feel like you guys could actually put in real magic words in there too. So alright, breathing here. Magicians, wizards, thank you for being a part of this team. Let us pull forth a message and see what the universe means. Zoo, 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 zoo. Now. That's the sound of destiny unfolding before our very eyes. So, alright. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card that we have pulled. Again, this card, being facilitated by Carissa, but for anybody who's tuned in right now, the card that we have pulled is card number 44, Seventh Ray of Ritual, Order, and Ceremony. Seventh Ray of Ritual, Order, and Ceremony. Yes, it's as epic. It's as epic as you might expect. So we'll take a moment here just to be able to open up the deck there, and we will dive into the meaning of this card. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna visually explain what we got. Thank you again, everyone. Let's work on getting that next Patreon sign up as we are hanging out here. So again, if you're ready to sign up for the Patreon, it's a monthly micro contribution. If you're brand new, you're still welcome to sign up for the Patreon. We got a dope team going on here of conscious creators and leaders. So if you want to connect with a dope team, go ahead, join the Patreon. It takes 5 minutes. And for other Patreon supporters, drop an 1111 in the chat if you're on Patreon, and feel free to hype it up. And I'm not sure how many new people we have because Kaio and Ruth already signed up, but if we do have anybody else new who's ready to sign up for the Patreon, we'll do that. And yeah, we'll keep an eye open. I want to keep going until midnight to get as many new Patreon signups as we can. So let's focus in on this card. Beautiful, beautiful image that we have here. And so I've read this card before, and I remember the first time I was a little confused until I read the description of what it is that we're seeing here. But now that I've seen it, I can explain it to you a little bit more detailed, where basically this is kind of like meant to be symbolic of ceremony. It's meant to be kind of like a symbolic, almost as like a performance, so to speak. So we have this circle of kind of women kind of like down with their heads kind of against their knees, with their knees up, again, almost kind of hiding their face. And then we got like another woman more leaning forward with their arms out extended, and like, and just like power. That's the way I see it. Just as very powerful, again, kind of like a stepping stone towards the final version of the woman at the center of the circle, holding their arms up in elation with this beautiful light coming down from the heavens. And they've got this beautiful peaceful look on their face. And yeah, again, just continuing to really just like bring in some super powerful imagery here. And they all got like different robe outfits and stuff like that. So again, that's just me literally explaining. You got these beautiful like reds and yellows and even some blacks on the edges, which brings some more highlight to it. So igniting that kind of like bonfire fire ceremony energy. So bonfire energy, that's a real energy, man. Bonfire energy. Damn, I want some bonfire energy. All right, let's get into this reading. I'm gonna read from the book. Again, if you're here, this message is for you. And go ahead, team, please feel free to, even if you're watching this for the first time, take a screenshot, post it to Instagram, tag me at Mystic Spider-Man, and tell people to click the link in my profile, or send this to like one person individually, or even let them know about the Patreon. Let's go and dive a little bit deeper here. Thank you again to Carissa for being our recent Patreon supporter. All right, 1 second here. I just have to open up the Facebook chat so I can see if anybody's in there as well. Okay. Again, if you are here, this message is for you. Number 44. And I should mention this card, this is like the last card in the deck. So this card is like extra special. Number 44, seventh ray of order, ritual, and ceremony. When the gift of the seventh ray enters your life, something new is being formed. Something that will benefit your world. There may be an increased interest in magic, ceremony, and ritual for healing purposes, resonating with high-frequency violet light and Archangel Zadkiel. The seventh ray also helps transmute energy from lower to higher frequency. It is a spiritual cleansing agent that allows the truth of freedom, empowerment, and choice to be seen and felt, restoring hope and joy to the heart. That fly, man. He's like landing on me. I can feel it. He's trying to psych me out. Fly, just give me 2 seconds. I'll pay attention to you in a minute. I'll walk you later. All right. The seventh ray is very active upon the earth at this time. All of humanity is being affected by it. The seventh ray is the push-pull between the old and the new, the life that has been and can no longer continue in that form, and the new life that wants to evolve from the old. It honors traditions and ancestral wisdom that serve new life. Again, as we're reading this, drop those 1111s in the chat just to be able to let us know if this resonates with you. And yeah, show it again. You guys are awesome. All right. When the seventh ray enters your life, you are asked to balance your attachment to what has been with an openness to the new. It is a time to fearlessly question what has been, honor what continues to hold value for you, and dismiss what no longer serves you. The seventh ray also creates form from invisible, intangible spiritual energy. These are the inspired solutions and synchronicities that seem to come out of nowhere. They are signs of the divine order happening. The seventh ray brings in alignment with that divine order, and the more you are willing to invoke and allow the energy to bless you, the more your life will align itself with the genius of creativity, solutions, and loving opportunities of the universe. The opportunities the universe wants to bring to your world. The gifts of ritual, order, and ceremony are ways to attract this energy. Conscious community, done in service to unconditional divine love, feeds a need for sacred embodiment. It is hunger without the soul that many seek to feed. It is the hunger within the soul that many seek to feed through religion, and others through less conscious rituals of addiction. Ritual can be something that keeps you stuck or opens you to the sacred. Choosing a spiritual practice to engage on a ritual basis, creating your own spiritual system, will help you call the genius of the seventh ray energy into your life. Your spiritual practice might be daily prayer followed by a short conscious dance or yoga session, a meditation, a walk in nature, or some combination of these. Find what works for you. Do that regularly, make it priority, and you can invite spirit into your life through a simple and ordered system that you do on a regular basis, even if only for 5 or 10 minutes a day. Then, the new life, the new you, the order that brings an expansive idea to life in the world can happen. The challenge with the seventh ray is not to become obsessed with the future, with the new, to the extent that you forget about the valuable aspects of what already is. It's about developing what has value, not rejecting outright anything from the past. The past can teach us wisdom and help us create a more loving future if we allow ourselves to balance our passion for the future with a respect for what has been. The gift of the seventh ray is the ability to live as an embodied divine presence. For humans who don't trust or even recognize the love of the divine in their hearts as yet, those who do are great supporters. The seventh ray empowers us to use loving ritual to invite divine presence to fill us and our lives. It also teaches us how to use our consciousness to clean up our own energy field and the energy field of the world around us, so the divine can show its face more clearly. The comfort of this can help free all beings from anguish and suffering. Invocation. I now accept of... Oh, wait, I'll read the invocation later. Okay. Give me a second here. Okay. The comfort of this can help us free all beings from anguish and suffering. Okay, so this is a super, super cool card. I really love this card. Obviously, for myself, I'm a huge fan of community and also a huge fan of the power of ceremony, of the power of ritual. And essentially, that's like what we're doing right now. We do these broadcasts time and time again. And in these broadcasts, they themselves are something where, for some of you, it can be a practice of being present to receive a message from the universe. But more so than that, this is about really being able to understand the power of being able to create like the little practices within our daily life that connect us to spirit. For those of you who may be new, for Ruth and Carissa, since I know both of you are new, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we do our live team meditation. So we'll have one tomorrow morning as well. We've done hundreds of these. These in themselves are an example of being able to pay attention to how doing one practice of connection with spirit can holographically affect your life. I like this idea that like doing one thing differently can holographically affect your life. So with this card, it's really inviting us to be able to stand into a new level of our power, but in understanding that how we get there is through the ceremony. How we get there is through the discipline. How we get there is through the consistency. How we get there is through the intention. And so this card is about being able to kind of have that foresight of focusing on the future, not only into what's best for us, but also what's best for the team, what's best for the community, and being able to create sacred space that can be shared as a community for celebration and for embodiment, which is again kind of like what this card is. You can almost imagine this being almost like an art thing. It's kind of like a theatrical representation of community coming together. But again, kind of going back to the similar themes from the Karmic card, this card also does kind of hit upon the idea of being able to look to the past for the lessons it has given us, but then to decide what from the past we can let go of. Like we can bring some things from the past, like bring the lessons from the past. If you're going to bring things from the past, bring the lessons and bring the inspiration, you know? The rest of it, you can kind of just like do your best to be able to leave it behind. Not to say it literally gets left behind or anything. It's still going to, you know, it will still be a part of your story. But what's more important is, again, in the process of kind of like doing that, it's also about being able to make room for the new energy that we are calling in through the rituals that we are beginning to make a more part of our day-to-day life. And I like the idea that the spiritual practices can be something short. It can be a dance. It can be yoga. It can be meditation, a walk in nature, or a combination of these, which is, again, things that like all of us already do in our own little ways. So with this card, it's really calling us into understanding that like now is the time for us to be consistently activated. Like that is the thing. Like now, as we continue to awaken, we need to be able to like ride this consistent wave of like optimization and activation and momentum and just again, that doesn't mean the challenges won't arise, but you'll meet them with a different mindset. You'll see them in a different way. You'll perceive them from the understanding that they literally are there to be able to help teach you a lesson, to teach you about your flexibility, and to sometimes be able to test you, to be able to help you develop a deeper place of faith in understanding that you do have the capabilities of being able to move through things that perhaps you didn't think that you previously did. The other part about this card, which again is kind of similar to the other card, the other part I like about this card is understanding again what they refer to as the seventh ray. This is kind of like a cosmic energy, if you want to think about it that way. But I like the idea of the seventh ray being associated with kind of that feeling within the universe where things just keep aligning, or things really kind of like happen in a certain way that move you forward on your spiritual path. You meet someone very synchronistically that you resonate with. Something happens, a new job or opportunity opens up, you know, like you get a gift from a friend, or you just like happen to be at the right place at the right time, or whatever. These little indications that, again, we recognize as synchronicities, this is kind of associating with this idea of the seventh ray, which is again kind of this idea that the universe is like pulling strings from behind the scenes to be able to do what it can to be able to help assist you, whether or not you are even fully consciously aware of it. But what brings this card to another level, and this idea to another level, is what happens when you actually do start to become aware of the little synchronicities and the fact that the universe is here to be able to like literally help you. What then? What happens if you start meeting the universe halfway? What happens if you start like looking for these, if you start kind of like understanding a little bit more of what they are? And so with this card, it's really kind of inviting us to get into this place where we are just optimizing our ability to show up to the best, to the best of our capability, understanding that that's always going to be something relative, and it's going to be something different for each and every single one of us where we are. And it's important to be gentle with where we are, but at the same time also using this space from the present moment to be able to really reflect on what it is we're moving towards, what it is that we've learned from the past, what it is that we're letting go of, and what it is that we are cultivating right now, and what is it that works for us that we can make a priority. You know, like what exercise can you make a priority? Can you make the global team meditations a priority? Can you do that? You know, because when you do that, that's a way to be able to invest in yourself. And again, it's about being able to help create like this familiarity with inviting in that spiritual presence, that spiritual connection, that spiritual awareness, that spiritual wisdom. Like, it's not like spirituality just kind of becomes this fleeting thing. It becomes like an embodiment of who you are on a regular basis. And for some of you, you may kind of be at the point where it's like, yeah, I've like done a lot of practices in the past, and maybe I'm not doing as much as I used to now, but I still feel like I got a pretty good connection with spirit, and I still, you know, flow through things quite smoothly. And that's going to be relative to you. You know, you'll know how much you need to focus on your daily practices. But if you do find yourself kind of like feeling like, you know, things are a little bit foggy, or just kind of like a little bit out of alignment, whatever that means to you, or you're feeling like you do just want to be able to focus your energy a little bit more, then knowing that having that discipline through whatever practice it may be that connects you with spirit and bringing that into a part of your day-to-day life will holographically affect the rest of your life. What? 10 minutes of meditation first thing in the morning will change my week completely? Pfft. Get out of here. I don't believe it. Well, of course you don't believe it, because you're not doing it. Until you do it, then you can believe it. And I think that's a big part of it, is understanding that it's through the process of like believing and knowing that practice makes a difference, that in itself is motivation to be able to do it. Like, I'm not telling you, like, it's going to be relative to each and every single one of you, but based on kind of the dynamics of the universe, if you bring in practices that you make a priority that connect you with spirit, that is going to change the rest of your reality. It's going to change your attitude. It's going to change your perception. It's going to change your energy. It's going to change your ability to process. It's going to change your ability to cultivate awareness, to be able to just respond instead of react. It's about being able to help make the unconscious conscious. Once again, this is all, again, the stepping stones towards like this bigger ongoing journey of again, making the unconscious conscious, of awakening our consciousness. So the gift of the seventh ray is the ability to live as an embodied divine presence. So again, that's why this card is kind of at the deck. This card is like activate your full potential. And then once you do, keep doing daily practices so that you keep it activated. Because if you stop your practices, you literally atrophy. You literally will. Like, it's not like, I did it, I woke up, like I've reached it, this is it, and now I can just, you know, drift from here. It's like, no, once you get there, it's about like the consistency and the upkeep. Again, it's like muscles. If you don't use them, you lose them. With the spiritual connection, if you don't reinforce it, then it kind of fades away, so to speak, and then you'll find yourself back into a familiar place. But again, cultivating that connection with spirit, with divine nature, with reality, with mindfulness, whatever you want to call it, undeniably has a very, very powerful effect within our life. For humans who don't trust or even recognize the love of the divine in their hearts as yet, those who do are great supporters. So this is reminding us that also the power of community is teaching us to teach, you know, reminding us that there may be other people within your life and they don't fully understand this idea of kind of the fact that they are divine presence or whatever. But if you understand this, part of what you can do to actually help is to kind of like hold space to help others see it. And you can do this again through conversation, you can do it through your art, you can do it through shared meditation. Again, tune in for our team meditations Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday is like our extra special version of the meditation. The seventh ray empowers us to use loving ritual to invite divine presence to fill us and our lives. I love this idea that even with these broadcasts, and especially our morning meditations, and especially the team podcast, I talk about this over and over again, where I see those as like basically a way to like recharge our spiritual battery. What things can you do and make a priority within your day-to-day life to help keep your spiritual battery charged? Nowadays, like, to the best of your ability, the amount of times where your battery is just completely drained should be less. Not to say it won't happen, and not to say you should shame yourself if you feel those days where you absolutely feel like your battery is drained. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but with a certain degree of consciousness, you can understand how to keep charging your battery and knowing when to kind of like say no to certain things within your capability. Again, it's all relative. And then ideally, what would it feel like if literally 7 days a week your battery was still charged, while still understanding that even on like the weekends you can still get in rest, right? Because the rest is actually a part of the work. Rest is actually a big part of keeping your battery charged. It's knowing when to rest as well. So it also teaches us how to use our consciousness to clean up our own energy field and the energy field of the world around us, so divine can show its face more clearly. The comfort of this can help free all beings from anguish and suffering. And then I'll read the invocation here. Again, drop those affirmations in the chat, or drop the 1111 if this resonates with you. The invocation, I'll read this as if like kind of hear it as if you're saying it to yourself. I now accept of my own free will the blessing and grace of the seventh ray of ritual, order, and ceremony, and the assistance of the unconditionally loving masters of this ray, the violet flame of Saint Germain and Archangel Zadkiel. I open to the magic of creativity, divine genius, and the ability to translate spiritual concepts into world experiences for the greater good. May I discover and use my innate power for conscious and loving ritual and ceremony to enrich and invite spiritual presence into the world. May all beings feel safe and consciously held in a loving divine order according to a great plan of love. Through my own free will, so be it. So again, with this card, not only is it encouraging us to create that ritual to embody spirit within our day-to-day life, but how do we do that within community? How do we get involved with community that's already doing that? How can we even create circumstances where we can do that? And again, that's not always just going to be literally like a broadcast and stuff like that. It could literally even just be like your social media, your posts. The presence that you create within your posts can also help embody and help kind of call in spirit. That's why I like social media, because if we like observe content that's spiritual with mindfulness, it's kind of like a way to kind of like nurture. It's like a little like spiritual like vitamin, so to speak, and be like, oh yeah, like that reminds me, or oh yeah, that inspires me. So you can do that. You can create like little pieces of media that can be like little spiritual vitamins for people, so to speak. But again, embodying ritual, order, and ceremony to call in our power, call in our divine presence, understanding the importance of practice daily to the best of your ability, where you connect with spirit, meditation, dance, yoga, nature, art, poetry, whatever it may be, love making, anything. And then again, through that, being able to kind of consistently keep your battery charged. And again, also from there, not just simply basking in divine presence purely for the sake of divine presence, but also to be able to continue to show up with presence for others, for community, to be able to help assist and accelerate the shift in consciousness. Go team, seventh ray of ritual, order, and ceremony. Pew pew pew. Drop those 1111s in the card if in the chat if this card resonates with you, and let me know. And again, drop those affirmations. I would say an affirmation for that. I I commit to embodying regular practices throughout my week that will help me connect with spirit and create sacred space for the team, for us to be able to share in collective inspiration, vision, and momentum. So that's my little affirmation there. So beautiful. Awesome. Kaio, Carissa, thank you so much for adding your support on the Patreon and helping make that reading possible for everyone in the broadcast, for the team. That was a very, very beautiful card. That was a beautiful card. So awesome. All right. Go ahead and leave those affirmations. I'll read those in a second. All right, I'm gonna restart on the Instagram. Reading the affirmations already in the chat. Kristen, I am grateful for the synchronization the universe sends to affirm existence. Such a beautiful and powerful experience. Yeah, and again, kind of going back to the card, part of it is like, yo, as you work on yourself and create that ritual and create that divine presence with spirit, it will actually like help increase more like synchronicity within your life. Like that's part of it. It's like, yo, like as you develop this relationship, you'll actually start to kind of like develop more of an awareness for the presence of spirit through your day-to-day life, and you'll notice it through like synchronicity and omens and all of those beautiful things. So awesome. Mary says, I allow myself to be consistently activated. Awesome. Well said. Kaio, this card definitely resonated with me. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Kaio. In Japanese, Lotus Sutra is rendered as Miyoho Renge Kaio. Nam comes from Sanskrit name namas, meaning to devote or dedicate oneself. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Felicia, the last two majorly all did, especially the first two. But I had yeah, if you can go back and rewatch that. Awesome. Beautiful. Sweet. All right, great to see those affirmations in the chats. I think we're back live on Instagram now. So again, team, we'll take a little bit of an intermission here. We're almost at 12 o'clock. So if anybody else is ready to sign up for the Patreon, now is a great time to be able to do it. And we'll stick around. I mean, it's possible, like, I want to be able to just kind of like feel things out. Normally, if we're kind of like at this point, we've already done like 4 readings, and like I'm okay like wrapping it up early. So what we might actually do is we might just kind of like hang around for the next little bit, and if there's a new Patreon sign up ready to go, then we will do another reading. But other than that, that might have been the last reading for tonight, and that means I'll call it early. And yeah, and we'll just kind of go from there. But thank you again, everyone, for your support. And so again, if we're ready to get another Patreon sign up, I would love to do like more readings. So again, if anybody is ready to join on Patreon, join with a monthly micro contribution. You can join at the $5 level, get discounts for the item shop, including the beautiful Light Guardian crystals. You can literally make your money back by signing up on Patreon and then ordering a Light Guardian crystal, and getting like the discount is like worth more than the $5 sign up, depending on what you're getting. And again, you can also join at the $11 level as a leading member in the community, and that will give you access to our private team chat, access to our collaborative work periods for conscious creators, access to me as a conscious media creation coach, plus like my 10 years of experience creating conscious media, and the ability to join our weekly on-air team podcast. And again, this Thursday's podcast is on the spiritual dynamics of conscious media creation, so that's going to be a good one. So if anybody is ready to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead, drop a 555 in the chat. And contributions process literally in the like tomorrow. So this is kind of like last call for any new signups, but you guys can always sign up later. Kaio, thank you so much for joining and for adding your support, and please feel free to join the team chat and stay in touch there. And yeah, thank you so much for joining in tonight and helping facilitate. So beautiful. All right, team, so let's just take a few moments here. I'll just kind of sip on some tea And we'll check in real quick. We currently got a couple people tuned in on Facebook and Instagram, and we got about 10 people tuned in on YouTube. And we had like, yeah, those are some good readings tonight. So thank you again, everyone, for helping hold space for those. Beautiful. And again, if anybody already signed up for the Patreon, if you guys want to increase your Patreon pledge, we can do another reading. So again, if we have an increase for a Patreon pledge, we'll do another reading. And if we have a new Patreon sign up, we'll do another reading. Otherwise, we'll play it by ear. And yeah, we might just be wrapping things up shortly, which is still good. Like, I mean, we're broadcasting. That's like still like a 2.5 hour broadcast. You know me. Like, I'll go for like 4 hours at a time. The amount of hours, like, oh man. I got some endurance notches on my belt, that's for sure. So, all right, thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. If you're here for the first time, go ahead, drop a 333 in the chat. Though I'm pretty sure mostly everybody here is already a Patreon supporter. So if you guys want to upgrade your Patreon pledge, go ahead and do that. Let me know ahead of time, and we'll stick around here for the next little bit. And I'm just gonna stretch my legs here. Whew. Awesome. All right, and were there more affirmations? I am devoting myself to spiritual growth through transformative vehicle of ritual that resonates with me. Beautiful. Well said, Kaio. Hey, Morphic just joined the party. Awesome. All right, so again, team, we've done 4 readings so far, and if we do another reading, we will do another reading as we have another person signed up for the Patreon, or somebody increasing their Patreon pledge. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up shortly, and again, we'll call it a night. So, but we're almost at the midnight. We're almost at like the like the carriage is gonna turn back into a pumpkin at midnight or something like that. So, beautiful. All right, awesome. Keeping an eye on things. Awesome. All right, just keeping an eye on. I'm just looking on TikTok right now. 4 mentions. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. How's that new video doing? Wow, that new video did not get shared. Oh wait, no, not really. I guess it's still getting shared. Weird. I don't know how TikTok's so random sometimes. Here, this video will go viral, but not that one. It's like, but they're both good. Like, I don't understand. So, anyways, all right, team. If anybody is ready to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead, drop a 555 in the chat, or if you guys want to increase your Patreon pledge, again, we'll give it a few more minutes. And if there's no new Patreon sign up or no new increase on pledge, then we'll call it a night. And we will wrap up the broadcast. And thank you again, everyone, for your support on the Patreon tonight. Tonight's been the broadcast for tonight. Sorry, what I'm trying to say is this month has been a really exciting month for the Patreon and being able to do so many broadcasts and connecting so many amazing people together. So thank you again, Patreon supporters, for all your support this month. So. I know part of you guys would just be like, let's just stay up and do tarot readings all night long. So, oh man, I wish the Instagram feed worked better. Like, no one tunes in on Instagram, and I think that's just kind of like the way Instagram's set up. Like, it doesn't tell you what the broadcasts are before you see them, so that's all right. Okay. Sending good vibes to everybody here. Felicia, sending you good vibes. All right. Awesome. Kristen's off to bed. Thank you again, Kristen. Good night. All right, team. It looks like we're probably wrapping up the broadcast in the next little bit. So again, if anybody wants to increase their Patreon pledge or wants to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead and do that now. Link is in the info for this video, in the chat, and in the top corner. And again, for those of you on Facebook, the link is also in the info for this video. I don't think anybody's tuned in on Facebook right now. Oh, there's a couple people on Facebook. Aloha to those of you who are tuned in on Facebook right now. Cool. All right, team. So again, we're gonna decide if someone else signs up for the Patreon, or if anybody wants to increase their Patreon pledge, we'll do one more reading, or however many readings based on how many other signups we get. And otherwise, we'll wrap this broadcast up very shortly. And it was still a good broadcast. We still got 2 new signups, so that's awesome in itself. We've had about like 33 new signups this month, which is one of the most we've had in a month, so that was pretty good. Cool. All right, aloha. Hey, Ashley. Aloha, Felicia, Mary. Good night, Kristen, Morphic, Michael, and Chris as well. Yo, Chris, Rasta, Ruth, and anybody else. Yeah, there's some good readings tonight already, so definitely happy with those. All right, team. If you guys want to let me know if you're signing up for the Patreon or increasing your Patreon pledge, let me know. And again, if we have another sign up in the next little bit, we'll do another reading. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the broadcast momentarily, and that's totally fine if we do. So, is what it is. The universe shall decide. So, aka us. So, cool. All right. I don't mind wrapping it up early. Like that just means I get to like chill out, and I'm definitely satisfied with the amount that we accomplished on the Patreon this month. So awesome. And you guys are welcome to adjust your pledge at any time. Again, if you're just like, yo, these broadcasts and the meditations and everything we do, like they mean something to me, then please feel free to go ahead and adjust your pledge when it works for you. And again, your support in all forms is equally appreciated. So all right, team. Excuse me. All right, team. Last couple minutes, unless there's a new Patreon sign up or an increase on the pledge, and then we will wrap it up, and I'll just like sing you guys some lullabies in the meantime. For now is the time for us to shift those paradigms. We're finding the ways to help lead the way from here until dimensions unknown. We are rolling down the pathway and finding our way to destiny. Gonna do the best we can. Gonna put our heart on our hand and stand where we stand. That's like, started off as a lullaby and then it just became like, I don't know, like a cowboy song or something like that. I don't know. I don't write these things ahead of time. I'm as surprised as you are, so. Alright, team, last call for any Patreon signups or upgrades on Patreon pledge. A reminder for Patreon supporters, the Patreon contributions process tomorrow. So if you're not 100% sure if your contribution is even going through, you can always double check by logging in and going to manage membership. And yeah, tonight was a good broadcast. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in. Excuse me. Okay, team. All right. Okay. I think we're ready to call it. So 10 minutes away from midnight. We'll call it early. All right. Well, mission accomplished for the month as a whole. Again, thank you everyone so much for your support. Thank you so much for joining these regular broadcasts. It's always exciting. I'll be doing plenty more of these the following month. We're going to be focusing on some other parts of the project. So if we don't do one for the first week, that will be why. But we'll definitely be doing some more. And again, please feel free to let your friends know about the project. Let them know about the team chat if you think they would be a good fit for the team. And you can let them know about the Patreon as well. And again, if you help people sign up for the Patreon, then I'll give you like affiliate bonus points. So awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Wrapping up this broadcast. Happy June and welcome to July. July is a good month. I like July. Again, my birthday's in July, so that'll be fun. Wonder if I'll be doing tarot on my birthday. Maybe. We'll see. I assume I'll probably be doing... Who knows? So... All right, team. Wrapping up this broadcast, sending you guys so much love. Please feel free to join the team chat if you haven't yet. Even just feel free to like leave some feedback on how this broadcast was. And yeah, join us again. We got our team meditation tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for those of you who are joining in for that. And other than that, thank you so much. It's always fun. It's always exciting being able to hang out here with you together. May you carry this inspiration with you and continue to kick butt on your mission of shifting consciousness. So, all right, team, much love. I'll see you in the team chat. As always, keep it shifty, peace, and wholeness. I'll see you in the future. Pew, 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 pew. Concluding broadcast now. All right, thanks again, everyone. Talk to you guys later. Love you.